voice, I'm calling you out, tasting the bitterness you left in my mouth, wasting my time and taking.
I was born to be free. For your vanity, computers never sleep. It's verified, it's guaranteed. NFT for your vanity, computers never sleep. It's verified, it's guaranteed. NFT.
Ladies and gentlemen, did we make it? Are we here? I think we made it, everyone. We made it. 2025 is here. We are all set, ready to rock and roll. We got this brand new year, the next 12 months, getting ready to rock. Traders, I'm absolutely jacked up at this time. You guys know I am. I mean, how could you not be? At this moment in time, at this exact second right now, traders, you got to think about it. Every single person in the world, doesn't matter if you're Warren Buffett, doesn't matter if you're Jimmy Buffett, every person's going back down to zero. How great does that sound? If you made $1 million last year, make $2 million, you're back to zero. If you lost $75,000 last year, wipe it off, guess what? You're back to zero. Every single person today, right now at this moment, their P&L says zero. So what are you going to do this year? Are you going to be a person that's going to follow the same exact thing as you did last year? Are you going to be a person that says, hey, I ended up losing last year, but you know what? I can't wait to come back and get fire in this year. Guys, I absolutely love the passion that traders are bringing over to chat today. I love the passion that I'm seeing from you guys. I love the excitement. I love the energy. I love the enthusiasm that every single trader is showing. But I want you guys to think about something right now. If you were profitable last year, if you were profitable in 2024, you keep it up and you keep doing exactly what you've been doing. Keep striving. Think about your losses. Think about your mistakes and just limit them. If you're winning, if you're being profitable, if you came out 2024 in the green, keep it going. Keep that strategy and just work on those little things to try to perfect. But if you were red last year, if you were a person that did not succeed in stock trading last year, the definition of insanity is showing up today and doing the same exact thing as you did last week, last month, the last 2024, and expecting a different result. The definition of insanity is doing the same exact thing that you've done previously and expecting a different result. If you are saying, hey, Dek, it's a brand new year, it's 2025, I'm here and I'm ready to trade, and you keep doing the same strategy that you were doing that just ended up losing, expect to lose all 2025. You have to be willing to say to yourself right now, all right, it's a fresh start. Every single person has a fresh start right here and right now. What can I do to make sure I'm different? What can I do to make sure that I do win? Because if you were a person last year in 2024, which is over trading, if you were a person that was never setting stop losses, if you were a person that found yourself gambling out of boredom, if you were a person that would just show up and buy what everyone else was buying, hoping that it made you money, buying at the very tippity top, and you continue to do that into 2025, can you really be upset that you're not going to be profitable again this year? Or do you say to yourself, hey, 2025 right here and right now, it's a year I'm going to set stop losses. It's going to be a year when I take a loss, I'm going to keep it as tight as I possibly can. It's going to be a year that I have discipline. It's going to be my growth year, the year that I break out. When I find one of those big hot plays, I hold on to it and I make that big money. When I jump in on these stocks, I'm going to be able to get in early. My confidence is going to be high. My discipline is going to be high. And I'm going to actually perfect my strategy. Not again, just hope for the best, right? That's not what we want. So again, going into this year, team, I am very excited. And I hope every single person is coming in with that mindset. But I want to talk about what we have going on throughout this year, what we have coming on up over these next 12 months. So there are a few big things that I really want you guys to be aware of. But again, first things first is I think it's important that we go back over towards maybe what were some of the biggest spikers climbs back in 2024. So 2024 right here, traders, this is over on Fox Runner. What we have here is the best and worst stocks of 2024 ranked best to worst. All right, let's see what we have. You guys see right here, 2024 best stocks ranked. The number one best play of 2024 was APP, App 11. Number two, MicroStrategy, MSTR. And number three, Palantir, 340% gain right there. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of credit here. I'm going to kind of boost myself a little bit here. Palantir, that was my trade. I can't stress this enough. How often, how many times did I tell you guys about Palantir back in June, back in July, and back in August? As you guys know, Palantir was my best trade of the entire year. Dek, when did you get involved on this play? I jumped in on Palantir at $30 back on September 1st, I believe it was. So again, what we have here, August, we have September 1st right here at $30. I was sitting in with a cost basis of $30.08. That's when I got into Palantir. And then as you guys know, I got out at $69. So I got out back in earlier December. I am currently out of Palantir. But I was able to make this whole entire profit. Now again, being able to make this sort of money, this amount of cash, that's a great profit, right? Palantir being able to jump in on this play and be able to ride this all the way up from $30 all the way up towards $60, that is where traders would absolutely die to be able to make this sort of gains, these type of profits. Now, the thing is, Palantir just started getting a little bit overbought in my eyes. It was getting a little overbought. I know, again, momentum was taking on over. It kind of turned into a little bit of like a meme play. Now, when I say meme play, it's just everyone on Wall Street Bets was talking about it. Everyone on Reddit was talking about it. And that has its pros and it has its cons. It has its pros as, again, when people are talking about plays, people are aware of it. And again, when people are aware of it, it could definitely pick up steam as people start investing more and more and more into it. But at the same time, you definitely have to understand that sometimes when plays get a little meme-like, sometimes they shoot up too quickly where they come back on down. Now, I will be the first one to say at this moment, Palantir is one of my favorite companies. I think, again, Palantir is an amazing stock. They have amazing credibility. They have amazing partnerships. They have commercial contracts, government contracts. They have, again, AI implications. They have everything they need. So while I say, again, it's a meme play, I'm saying, again, it's an amazing play. It's a play that, again, I absolutely love. I just get a little bit nervous that maybe over the last 4 to 5 months, the stock has taken off a little bit harder than its fundamentals actually, would portray. So Palantir, definitely one of the best plays out there this year. I know a lot of you guys absolutely loved it. Let's take a look at the number one play right here, App. So what went on over here? So app, this play really took on off back in August as well, where it went from $61 and shot all the way up to $400. We also know MicroStrategy, MSTR, this one went absolutely crazy, and that's after Trump came in. After Trump came in and won the presidential election, Bitcoin started going crazy. After Bitcoin started going crazy, started running all the way up towards new record highs, we started seeing MSTR go absolutely wild, and has been falling since though, because where's Bitcoin currently sitting at this moment? Bitcoin currently at 96,000. So I'm going to say right here, MSTR, this is a little bit of a heavy drop for, again, still Bitcoin sitting at 96,000. I can imagine this sort of drop if Bitcoin was back down to like 85, 84, 82. But to see again, MSTR have this sort of strong pullback while Bitcoin's still sitting at 96,000. Hey, I understand it fell back underneath 100,000, but this still is, again, a rather large drop. Now, there are a lot of pros and a lot of cons with MicroStrategy. The big con about MicroStrategy, guys, is the fact on how heavily this company is leveraged off Bitcoin. I mean, it is kind of crazy to think about. Is there any other Fortune 500 company that makes money and puts it all into Bitcoin? Like that's kind of nuts. Sure, companies are going to be able to buy different things, buy companies, have their bank accounts, have this, have that, be able to, again, be a well-rounded company. MSTR is not really a well-rounded company. It's more of, we make money, we stick it in Bitcoin, right? We have heard Saylor, the CEO, say, it doesn't matter. I'll be buying at tops, I'll be buying at bottoms, I'll be buying in the middle because I, again, have a long-term future outlook over on Bitcoin. He's been buying Bitcoin since 2016. He's a billionaire. So at the same time, you can't argue with the guy in any sort of sense. But it's an odd play. It's a risky play. It's a high reward play. But the thing is, it's a little bit crazy. You got to be a little bit nuts to be able to go long-term over on MSTR because you are saying, hey, I believe in Bitcoin as much as Saylor believes in Bitcoin. That's essentially what you're doing when you take a look over on MSTR and such. So what you can do with this list that we have at this moment is you guys can take a look at it, break this on down saying, okay, hey, what plays, maybe aren't overbought but are starting to move on up, or you could flip it to the absolute other side and go, what are the worst stocks of the year? What are the worst stocks of the year that have a whole bunch of room to be able to maybe dip buy back on up? Intel, INTC was actually the worst stock of 2024. Pretty crazy to be thinking about, right, guys? Now, Intel's another play that a lot of people talk about, and maybe why is everyone talking about Intel so much? Well, because sometimes the worst stocks do become the best stocks. Sometimes the worst stocks, people buy in on them because they're so low. What's the risk? If we just had Intel fall 60% in the matter of 1 year, in the matter of 12 months, and we're seeing this massive sell-off right here, would it be a risk if I jump in on this play? I mean, I can understand it. Right, guys? I get involved on Intel. I'm buying Intel at around $19, $20. People were buying at this price back in 2009. Back in 2009, people were getting involved in Intel. Imagine being an investor. Imagine someone that's saying, ooh, I really think Intel's going to be the next big company, the next big play. And what do we always know? Put your money in the stock market, it's going to generate wealth. Put your money in the stock market, it's going to do great. Imagine being in 2009, and now we're moving 16 years later, and you are still at the same amount. Now, that's, again, kind of comes down to timing the market in a little bit of a way. Intel, and again, just particular singular stocks, what do you guys have to realize? You guys have to realize that these plays are going to make you money, but you also got to lock in profits. There are stocks that you can potentially just hold on forever, right? You can just hold on to Apple forever. You can hold on to Microsoft most likely forever. You can hold on to Amazon forever. You could, again, starting on off, hold on to Nvidia forever, right? Now, Nvidia will have pullbacks, but these are plays that you can most likely hold on forever and don't have to worry about, any sort of large 60% pullback where it's going to come all the way, fading and falling and dropping. Now, we are going to have down years like we had in 2022, right? We take a look at 2022. Guess what Meta did? Meta, again, was all the way up at $384, fell all the way down to $85. It's now at $600 2 years later. Guys, that's absolutely incredible. We can even take a look over on Amazon here. Amazon stock went from $180, fell down to $81. It's now back up to $221, right? That's absolutely crazy to be thinking about, right? Take a look over on Tesla. Tesla, this stock fell back down to 110, all the way up to 500. Give me a second. I'm going to shut this door because there's a rabid German Shepherd, again, barking at people riding their bikes. So, what we have at this time, guys, a little side note as well, just a little heads on up. If you guys are watching at this time, I always appreciate it. I'm going to be bringing you guys a ton of content. I want to be YouTubing content, timing the market content, being live over on Tradecaster content. If you guys are watching this right now as we are on my main channel, make sure you guys hit that thumbs on up, comment over in the chat room, subscribe. Make sure you guys are always good, hitting that notification bell so you guys never miss a beat whatsoever. And also at this moment, Tesla actually just came out with bad numbers. So again, Tesla actually started turning and falling just again about 10 minutes ago as bad numbers just came on out. We'll look over those in a second. If anyone has those numbers, drop the link over in the chat so we can review it and again, see what we have. So Tesla's going to be something that we want to be looking at. Now, a lot of people at this moment, I just want to take a second. Let's ask everyone here. Ask everyone in Tradecaster, ask everyone over on YouTube, and let's say, is the market in 2025 going to be green, or is the market in 2025 going to be red? What do you guys think? Take a moment here. Ask your that question. Is the market in 2025, is this going to be a green year, or is the market going to be a red year? Now, a very simple, very easy way to think about this, guys, is the majority of the fact is most years are green. Most years are going to be green. Type it on the S&P 500. Go over towards a monthly chart. What do you guys realize over on the S&P 500? This monthly chart is going all the way back down to 2009. Since 2009, over the last 16 years, what do we progressively see happen? Well, we progressively see the market move on up. We progressively see the market climb. We progressively see higher lows. The stock market continuously, climbing and moving on up. Now, I will say, when the market does get a little overbought, though, we do start seeing pullbacks. So where have we seen overbought areas? We could see back in 2018, right into 2019, we were overbought, and then we did have a pullback. You guys could see after that, after 2021, as we moved into 2022, we were overbought and we had a pullback. Now, the argument that some traders might say is we are having something very similar right here. I mean, the market just finished up, 28% in 2024? Guys, that's a big year. 28%. I believe there's only been 4 times in the entire history of the stock market that the stock market finished up above 30%. Now, here's the fun fact. When the stock market finished above 30% on the previous 4 times, the market has then followed with a return of at least 12% or more. Okay? Now, we did not finish up over 30%. We finished up 28% over on the S&P 500. That's great. Now, with that gain, is that going to be able to lead towards continuation? Is that going to lead towards spikes? Well, traders, we are moving into a time right now that we have a lot of uncertainty that's cleared up. Now, there still is uncertainty, and there always will be. But guess what? We have our presidential election. That already happened. Great. We again heard from Jerome Powell on saying that we are going to be having interest rate cuts coming up in the future. Less interest rate cuts, but we do have interest rates cuts coming up in the future. That's great. Now we're moving into this brand new year with, again, a brand new slate ahead of us. I think there is a lot of confidence going into the year. But I also can understand that there is still a little bit of fear. What are we going to be doing with this stubborn inflation? How many interest rate cuts are we actually going to be having in 2024 or 2025, excuse me? Is Jerome Powell going to continue to cut, or is he going to say, hey guys, sorry, I said we were going to do, again, 4 interest rate cuts, we got to go to 2. Guys, I'm sorry. I know we wanted to do 2 interest rate cuts, we got to go down to 1. Hey guys, I'm sorry. I know we were going to do 1 interest rate cut, we're going back down to 0. So the thing is, who knows? Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve, I will tell you this right now, right here. Out of my last 10 years of trading, every single thing they've ever said, it has never actually turned out to be in the timeline that they want. It goes all the way back down to 2019, 2020, when we dropped interest rates to nearly nothing. And again, the stock market exploded. And they said, hey guys, we are going to have to start raising interest rates coming on up in 2022, 2023. And then guess what happened? They said they were going to raise interest rates 3 times at 0.25%. They raised rates how many times? 12 times? 12 times, and 7 of them were 0.75%? That's a whole lot different than what they initially told us. So they basically just throw out a number, and hopefully they can follow that number. They throw out, hey, we're going to do 4 rate cuts, guys. That'll make them feel good, right? That'll make the public feel good. Yep. People get excited. Then again, Jerome Powell has to say, hey, sorry, guys, we're only going to be doing 2. Hey, guys, sorry, we're only going to be doing 1. Hey, guys, sorry, we're only going to be doing 0. So the thing is, the S&P 500, we are at a very high point. I am expecting some sort of pullbacks, but at the same time, I do believe that this market is going to continuously go green. Now, There is, I don't even know, guys. I don't know. Is this like conspiracy or is this like possibility? I'm just going to throw it out there because you know what? If it's conspiracy, great. Take it how you want. If it actually does happen, hey, at least a little bit you're ahead of the game right here. Does anyone know kind of what is starting to appear a little bit in the news? Does anyone realize like there's something to pop up in the news a little bit, and it's almost just ridiculous how it's almost like perfect timing again as markets at highs, as again we are now again sitting at we're at an area that we should start cutting interest rates again. Traders, I'm starting to see it happen, and what I'm starting to see happen a lot is this bird flu, influenza, right? I started come up on the TV last week. I started seeing it more and more and more. Basically, what we have at this time, if you just want to type this in, bird flu. CDC says it's searching for these pandemic red flags. Worrisome mutations starting to happen. Brand new cases of bird flu. Bird flu breakout reveals need for farm worker testing. So and now all of a sudden, a new bird flu strain continues to threaten. And now all of a sudden, like yesterday over on Fox, let me see this. I was watching Fox here. Here we have bird flu uptick in the U.S. CDC is on alert for pandemic on red flags. So you guys can actually see at this moment, what do we have? 11 human cases in Washington, 1 case over in Oregon, 1 case in Wisconsin, 2 cases in Michigan, 10 cases in Colorado, 37 cases over in California. Guys, is this happening all over again? Is this happening all over again? Market's going to be at record highs. All of a sudden, again, these random cases start coming on through. Market starts dumping all the way back on down, and then we start cutting interest rates. We start cutting interest rates, and things start going crazy. It could just literally be all one big just conspiracy thing happening at this moment. But again, just seeing all of a sudden this map, it kind of took me back like 3 years ago. All of a sudden, seeing this map of 1 case here. 2 cases here, 5 cases here. And then next week, this map is 30 cases, 50 cases, 100 cases. And then all of a sudden, people are out buying masks. Then again, this, that. So it's like, we definitely want to see, we'll keep our eyes peeled on it. I obviously am not going to sit here and say that will happen. But again, it's just like, I'm just thinking like 3 years ago. I'm like, oh boy, all right, is this happening again? So we'll see what we get. I don't want to scare anyone, but it is something, at least in the market, I want you guys to be aware of. Because let's just play that game for a second. Okay, can we just take a moment here? Let's just play the game. Let's go down the rabbit hole. Okay, let's go down the rabbit hole for a second. Let's say, God forbid, all of a sudden this bird flu thing starts taking on off. And all of a sudden, there is 10 cases, 100, 10,000, whatever, right? What would you guys do immediately? We have to learn. We have to learn from the past. What would you guys say if all of a sudden this thing started coming on out? You know where I would go immediately? I would go right back over to pharmaceutical companies. Traders, mRNA, during that time, 3 years ago, went from $25 and spiked all the way up to $500. That's where mRNA went. It was one of the best and biggest spikes in history of pharmaceuticals. It went all the way from $28 to $500. Guys, look where mRNA is right now. Honestly, if you wanted to go even deeper down the rabbit hole and say, hey, Dek, I'm going to buy mRNA at this moment. And I might say, why? And you could say, well, Dek, I obviously don't want to be locked up again. I don't want any pandemic again. I don't want anything along these areas. But guess what? If that ever did happen, you're getting mRNA, a pharmaceutical drug, at again the price of $40, where let's say again, God forbid that this happens again. You'll be making a ton of money as everyone will flock right back over to mRNA. Everyone will come flying right back in on mRNA as they're looking for some sort of treatment. Same exact thing, traders. If you wanted to say, oh, hey, what else could I look at? You could say, oh, I'm going to run over towards Pfizer, right? Pfizer stock. And say, hey, same exact thing happened there, right? So if we wanted to run over towards here, PFE. PFE has a very similar pattern where we did have some very big spikes and then again came all the way back on down. And again, you're getting the price at Pfizer right now, all the way back on down towards around $24. So again, this is an extreme, guys. We are again just diving down the rabbit hole for a second at the worst possible case scenario. Could again something ever happen? And if something ever did happen, I would rather have you guys be prepared and be ready. So I don't want to really take too much time out of this. But what I do just want to say is if this all of a sudden did start happening, if this all of a sudden started building up a little bit of steam, if this all of a sudden started growing a little bit more, go right over towards, again, these pharmaceutical companies. Pharmaceutical companies such as Pfizer, pharmaceutical companies over on mRNA. And if you are someone that is actually saying to themselves, hey, Dek, I'm actually kind of worried about this. I've been doing a lot of research on it. Go ahead and purchase it right now. You're getting the same price as people are buying back in 2020. You're getting it literally at the lowest price area. So obviously, I don't want that in any sort of way, guys. It would be absolute madness if people tell us we have to stay back in and start wearing masks around and everything. But I would say Pfizer would most likely go on up. What else would go on up? Zoom. Right? Remember Zoom went crazy? Zoom would most likely go back on up. What else could go on up? Peloton. Remember, guys, Peloton? Peloton would most likely go all the way back on up. So again, these could definitely be some pretty wild and pretty crazy plays that we want to continuously watch, continuously be aware of. As again, those would all be these inside plays that, when I say inside, I don't mean insider buying. I mean, like literally we have to sit inside. So again, like those would be all the stocks, and all of them, all of these plays are at all lows right now. If that's Peloton, mRNA, Pfizer, if that's at Zoom, all these plays are garbage at this moment. So again, you can dive into that rabbit hole as much as you would like, but at the same time, guys, we want to see, of course, what is going to be coming on up here next. So what is more realistic though? Guys, let's try to think of this together. What's a more realistic scenario? Realistic scenario is we are going to, again, have a nice healthy market throughout this. But we do want to be asking ourselves what is going to be consistent of a nice healthy market. So when we take a look at what will be the trend of 2025, this is a very big question because, guys, there will be a trend. And I know every single person is going to have their opinions. They're going to be saying to themselves, what will truly break out in 2025? Now, we know the last 2 years has been artificial intelligence, right? The last 2 years really have gone to anything that has been within the semiconductor world. Anything that has been within AI. If that's been Nvidia, obviously that went crazy. We could take a look over on SMCI, right? We know that one's been crazy. What about like TSM? That one's been crazy. We know that AI has been the hot trend. But is there going to be a hot trend that takes on over? Is there going to be a hot trend that is finally going to take away the spot of AI? Some people would say no. Some people would say not at all. Dek, are you kidding me? Again, AI is here to stay and AI is again going to be here forever. But guys, that's just the trend talking. I really do believe that artificial intelligence is like the internet at this point. I think artificial intelligence is only going to slowly evolve over time. We have, again, AI chips, and we have ChatGPT right now. But, what's the next big thing? What's the next big step? What's the next big thing? What I've said before multiple times in the past is I think AI is going to have multiple cycles, just like, again, crypto has cycles. So far, the big cycle of AI has been what? Has been buy your Nvidia chip. You want to be able to be involved in artificial intelligence. You want to be involved in AI right here. You have to have an AI chip, and lots of them. And that's why Nvidia went crazy. We call this the hardware cycle. But what's actually coming up next? Just because we have hardware doesn't mean all of a sudden we have walking around robots and we have this and that and this and that. We now need software. If you buy an AI chip, that's great. But now what? Well, now you have to program something on that AI chip. And this is where, again, the software comes through, which is why, again, Palantir went so crazy. Palantir went so wild because they are AI driven, but they are the software of AI. So again, we might want to be looking into software stocks, maybe other than Palantir. I have to do some research on which ones those might be, but that's why, again, Palantir went so crazy because now, again, everyone's buying AI chips, but now what? Now we got to be able to say, okay, how are we going to use them? Well, we do need software to be able to use them. So is AI going to still be the hot thing? Or is, again, AI software going to be the next thing? And Palantir could possibly lead the way as this spikes up to 200 plus. Who knows, right? So is AI going to still be the hot space? Or is the next hot space going to be space, right? Is it going to be the hot trend of space plays? Guys, we know, again, Rocket Lab, one of the best plays in 2024. Rocket Lab really took on off in 2024, going crazy. Let me switch over to a weekly chart here where we could see the stock went from $5, spiked, and ran all the way up towards around $30. Now, what does the space race mean? What is the space race all about? This is really all coming on down to what, traders? All coming on down to who can be the most consistent, the most profitable, who could be the company that is going to have the most consistent rocket launches for the cheapest. Every company Fortune 500 companies are going to be wanting to launch satellites into space. Could Rocket Lab be the number one supplier? Or could it be SpaceX? Or again, should I not even invest in Rocket Lab? Maybe again, let me invest into Rocket Lab parts, Redwire, RDW. So rocket parts. So if you believe that the space race, if that's who's going to be able to be the most consistent of launching rockets, who's going to be the most affordable, who's going to be the quickest, you can invest into Redwire, which is building rocket parts, or you can invest into actual rocket companies such as Rocket Lab. You can't invest into SpaceX, but we know again, you can invest into like Tesla, which unfortunately isn't SpaceX, but when you invest into Tesla now, you're kind of just investing into Elon Musk. We also have ASTS, which is more of like a Wall Street Betsy type of play, but definitely has to do with space as well. What else do we have here? We do have quantum computing. Ladies and gentlemen, who here thinks the quantum computing world's going to take on over? We know again, IONQ has been absolutely crazy. We know RGTI has been absolutely crazy. We know QBTS has been absolutely crazy. Going into 2025, space, AI, quantum computing, these are all again things that have been very hot. And these plays have been going absolutely parabolic over the last 2 months now. Now, what I get nervous of, as I've said before, I get nervous of quantum computing. It's up so big. And the thing is, quantum computing's not here yet. I get a little bit nervous on Rocket Lab, how Rocket Lab's up so big. And again, Rocket Lab, like the space race, it's happening at this moment, but it's still not, we don't have like a clear winner just yet. You know, AI is great. And again, AI is awesome, but we have ChatGPT. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking more as like a human and not as an investor. It's hard sometimes for myself to be like, hey, let me invest in a quantum computing when they say, oh, quantum computing is not going to be useful for the next 10 years. Like there's no use case. And it's hard for me to invest like heavily into AI when again, like we invested billions and billions and billions of dollars and it seems like ChatGPT is the best thing we have at this moment. But we have to change our mindset slightly and we have to start thinking about as an investor, what is going to be coming on up? Because the thing is, if we wait until it's here, it's usually too late. If you want to be the person that is making the most amount of money possible, if you want to be a person that turns $100 into $1 million, you would have to be a visionary. What does a visionary mean? A visionary means you can see it happening. You could see it performing. You could see it growing 3 years before it actually happens. 4 years before it actually happens. The people that made the most amount of money on Nvidia are the people that bought in 2022. The people that bought in on 2023 saw a shift of technology saying, oh, we are going to start using AI here pretty soon. The people that, again, could be making hundreds of millions of dollars are going to be the people that are buying in on, Rocket Lab, let's say, earlier this year, or earlier, I would say last year, because now we're in 2025, where, again, people got in at $3 and maybe they're going to be holding until the next 5 years until, we start getting a little bit more crazy. Same exact thing with, quantum computing, saying, hey, Dek, I bought in on RGTI back in, again, May of 2024, and right now I'm currently up $300,000. You sat there for 6 months basically doing nothing, but the spike and the wave finally hit. So the thing is, are these waves just getting started? Or again, are they going to just kind of blow up and come right back on down? So as you guys know, one that I really do like, I really like this a lot, is going to be nuclear energy, which again is SMR, OKLO, BWXT. So again, nuclear energy traders, the ones that I really am liking a lot, the ones that I'm really focused on at this moment, is going to be the fact of, what do we have here? BWXT. I really like this play a lot, BWXT. I know a lot of people are looking over on RYCEY, Rolls Royce. I know a lot of people are looking over on NEE. And the big thing that it kind of comes on down to, again, quantum computing, and the big thing that comes on down to artificial intelligence, and it comes down to nuclear is the cleanest way that we can have energy. It's also the most powerful way that we can have energy. And the thing is, nuclear is a scary word though. When you say the word nuclear, people say, oh, I don't want that. I don't want that. Again, it's going to be big bombs we're going to make. No. Again, the idea is our current grid cannot handle the amount of energy that AI needs. Imagine this, guys. We have hundreds of billions of dollars that were spent on these chips, and we can't use these chips to the full potential because we just don't have the power for it. Our grid just isn't strong enough to actually use these AI chips. And that's why Amazon last year just bought a nuclear power plant. That's why, again, Microsoft is working with 3 Mile Island and to get them back up and running over in nuclear. It's kind of weird how all these companies are now investing into nuclear after they bought these AI chips because they realize they just spent billions of dollars and they can't use these chips. So the thing is, that's what's so crazy at this moment. And this is where they are coming up with these things called SMRs, small molecule reactors. So instead of opening an entire power plant, they're building SMRs. And when they build SMRs, they're much smaller. They're smaller, but can power the AI chips. So that's kind of what I would say you want to invest into if you're looking for a long-term investment. Now, what do I mean by long-term investment? Is they say the first SMR is not going to be done and ready until 2030. So again, 2030, guys, that's still, what, 5 years away? But who knows? Are we being visionaries? Are we getting in early? Are we getting in so AI can actually do what we want it to? If I jump in on, let's say, one of these nuclear SMR plays, is it like me buying in on Nvidia back in again at $17? Imagine me getting in on Nvidia at $17. Imagine me getting in on Nvidia at, again, $24. Imagine me, hey, we might have to sit back 2 to 3 years, but we still might get a slow and steady climb over 2 to 3 years, and then we absolutely explode. Same exact thing with quantum computing. They say, again, quantum computing, Google, Willow's saying, oh, our next big use case is 10 years away. But it's going crazy. So even though, again, they say nuclear is 5 years away, they say quantum computing is 10 years away. They say, again, the space race is still 5 years away. So it's like, yes, we're investing in things years away from now. Again, the stock market does not move from what is currently happening. The stock market moves from future events, right? So I definitely want to make sure that you guys are all aware of it. Small modular reactors. What did I say? Did I say something wrong? I apologize if I said something wrong. I think I said molecular. I don't know what I said. I thought I said small modular reactors. But again, thank you for the correction if I was incorrect. So thank you to you guys right there. We also, again, have Fintech. Okay? I'm going to skip air taxis right here. But Fintech, a lot of people running over towards SoFi. Right, a lot of people are running over towards SoFi thinking that this is going to be the next big thing. The thing is, a lot of people love the CEO. Excuse me. A lot of people love SoFi's CEO. A lot of people think, again, SoFi is going to be the first true fintech company that's going to work and grow and go crazy. If you go over towards YouTube nowadays and you just type in best stocks to buy in 2025, I'm just going to be honest with you. The majority of them are just going to kind of repeat all the same thing. Half of them are going to say Palantir and the other half is going to say SoFi. So I don't know if you would call this a Wall Street bets play. It is credible. It has flipped to profitability. Their revenues are growing. It's a company with multiple different parts. SoFi is a great company. It has a great CEO. It's a company that could absolutely thrive, and it's a banking play. So let's just actually think about something very important right now, guys. When you are a banking stock, you are a banking play, what's the number one thing going forward that you would like out of this upcoming 2025 year? Take a second and think about it, guys. All right? Going into this 2025 forward, if you are a banking play, what is going to be one thing that will almost ultimately lift you no matter what? Cutting rates. As long as Jerome Powell cuts rates, banking stocks are going up. Finance plays are going up. When you cut rates as a bank, guess what? People are going to be, again, asking for more money. People are going to be taking out more loans. People are going to be saying, hey, yeah. When you're a banking play and you start cutting rates, banking plays go up. Okay? So the more rate cuts we have in 2025, the better SoFi most likely will do. That's just the fact. That's how it works. We get 2 rate cuts, 4 rate cuts, 8 rate cuts. Obviously we're not gonna have 8, but I'm just saying, like, throwing it out there as an example, the higher we go on up. The worst case scenario is, again, Jerome Powell coming on out in the next week and a half and saying, hey guys, we're not gonna have any rate cuts. This thing will come all the way back on down. But that's not gonna happen. We'll have rate cuts. Now, going over everything that we've had so far here. These are basically the upcoming trends. I tweeted this out the other day saying technology revenue worldwide by segment. This might shock some of you guys. Some of you guys may not even realize this or know this, but this is kind of nuts to be thinking that, again, this is our technology revenue worldwide by segment right here. We have robotics actually leading the way. Hold on, wait a minute. You're telling me right now that AI isn't actually the biggest revenue gainer? It's actually robotics? Correct. That's kind of nuts to be thinking about. that robotics is leading the way and artificial intelligence is actually in close second, followed by cybersecurity, data centers, semiconductors, software, devices, public cloud, Internet of Things, IT service, and communication services. So this is leading. Now, if this is leading, what I think we want to do is we want to be looking at plays that are maybe undervalued, because I know probably half of you didn't realize that robotics was actually ahead of artificial intelligence. And I probably can probably say that 75% of you thought semiconductors was probably next to AI, when really cybersecurity and data centers is above of semiconductors. So we are looking at right now what is bringing in the most amount of money in the entire world. Isn't that a good way to probably invest? Let's look at what's making us the most amount of money in the entire world at this moment. Robotics, AI, cybersecurity, data centers, and semiconductors. So let's start off with number one, robotics. What is the number one company when it comes down to robotics? Does anyone know? Number one company? ISRG. Okay? ISRG. This is definitely a play which has been great, solid, and a good mover. You can see how ISRG over the past year went all the way from 362 up towards around 522. This is a weekly chart, just a little heads on up. So ISRG, this has been a great winner. It has been a consistent winner. And to be frank with you, I really don't even think that this thing has fully exploded yet. Especially if robotics start getting bigger, if robotics start getting a little bit more advanced, if the hype moves in with robotics. So ISRG does have a robot out right now. And this robot, I'm going to probably say a lot of you guys have heard of it. A lot of you guys know this robot. And this robot is Roomba. You know what I'm talking about? That little circular vacuum cleaner that a lot of you guys have, that basically you turn on and it hits a wall and it turns around and it goes the other way and it hits another wall and it just basically vacuums and it just keeps hitting walls and turns around and bounces. And then again, you could say Roomba, go home, and it goes and starts charging itself again. Like, that's been out for a few years here. But that's like a usable robot, and it has a real use case, right? Guys, I don't know anyone who has a real working like iRobot from Will Smith that, again, does your laundry, that cleans your house, that does this, does that. Right now, again, we're at the stage of what? The Pilgrim stage. We're basically jumping off the Mayflower at this moment with our little, again, self-turning vacuum cleaners. That's all we have at this moment. But guess what? ISRG is the leader. ISRG is the winner right now. ISRG is a great, healthy company. It has great use case, has real products, has great data as well. And on top of that, they're profitable. So it is a stock that you guys want to be looking at. Also, Amazon owns ISRG. So Amazon owning ISRG, that's just bringing it more credibility as well. And you guys can continuously keep that play on watch. Obviously, any big dips, you could look to get involved on ISRG back on down towards like the 50-day moving average and such. And I'm just going to throw this out here right now just so everyone is fully aware of it. If you guys ever want the best dip buys possible, always go into the largest time frames you can. Okay, largest time frame you can on my charting here, that's going to be on the monthly chart. And you guys will realize that the 50-day moving average on the monthly chart is always the absolute best entry on every single blue chip company. And I know that's a bold statement to say, but it's true. You guys could see, take a look at the blue line here. Every time ISRG has ever touched the blue line, it was always the absolute best entry you could ever get. So ISRG touched it back in 2020, bounced off of it. Came back on down in 2022, bounced off of it. Came back on down to 2023, bounced off of it. We're nowhere near the blue line right now. So it's hard for me to say, oh, wait until we fall all the way back down to 320. At some point that could happen, especially if we have a down year. But we're not really near this area. And as you guys can see, usually what happens is you get away from the 50-day moving average, you pull back down towards it. The best dip buy is always at this bottom area. Same exact thing if I want to take a look at the S&P 500. S&P 500, let's turn these arrows around right here. Where was the best areas to ever get involved on the S&P 500? At the 50-day moving average on the monthly chart. 50-day moving average on the monthly chart will always be the best dip buy. So you can see best dip buy, best dip buy, best dip buy. Does that mean that we are going to have a pullback at some point back down to the 50-day moving average? Hey, we might consolidate for a while, allow the 50-day moving average to come back on up. But sure, we will have pullbacks. I'm just saying the best entries that you guys could ever get is going to be off these bottom dip buy areas where you can always say, oh, wow, hey, every time it's ever touched that, we have seen a dip buy and a bounce back on up. So if that's you looking at the S&P 500, if that's you looking at ISRG, if that's you looking at whatever play, I mean, you could type in a few different plays, Amazon. If you ever go underneath the 50-day moving average, pull the trigger on it on the monthly chart. Now, again, that's much different than the weekly chart. That's much different than the daily chart. That's much different than, again, your 1-minute time frame chart. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the largest time frames possible, because the largest time frames possible are going to give you the broadest and strongest term of the chart. Okay, so Let's keep on going here, traders, and let's see what else we want to be looking at. Well, we can also see at this moment, we do have AI, artificial intelligence. Guys, AI, artificial intelligence. We know Nvidia is really the #1 top gainer, okay? Do I think Nvidia is going to continuously move on up? The answer is yes, okay? I do. And before I even keep on going, if you guys are watching over on YouTube at this moment, make sure you guys comment, make sure you guys smash that thumbs on up, make sure you guys subscribe if you guys haven't. If you guys want me doing some more lives just like this for you guys, for everyone to join and watch, and if you guys are gaining value, go ahead, smash that thumbs up. That's all I ask for. I want to be doing a lot going into 2025 and making this, again, my best year ever, not only with trading, but also mentoring you guys and being the best mentor and giving you guys as much content as I possibly can. So, do I think Nvidia is going to continue to move on up? The answer is yes. Yes, I do. But I will say, guys, let's always think about this. The larger the market cap you get, the larger the market cap, the larger the stock, the larger it is, the harder it is to push around. That's just the way things work. If you are, again, a $10 stock, it's a lot easier to go to $10 to $20 and be able to have a 100% gain. It's more difficult to go from 150 to 300, 300 to 600, 600 to 1200. You're a much bigger play. So while I do like Nvidia, and as we already looked at this, guys, Nvidia was the #4 best play in 2024. 2024, we had app, MSTR, PLTR, and Nvidia. I do think Nvidia will start slowing down slightly. And the reason why is just it's getting too gigantic that it's going to be very tough. It's almost like, want to think about it as like a runner, right? When you are a very slim, small person, you could probably run very quickly, right? Now imagine if you just keep eating and eating and eating and eating and eating. You get bigger and bigger and bigger. Guess what? That lap time, that mile time, that thing's going to be getting a little bit slower. And the reason why is you're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's more weight to move around. It's harder to move around. But again, Nvidia is still a beast. It's still an absolutely incredible play. But what I'm actually focusing on, as a lot of people are as well, is who's going to be the clear #2. That's what I'm looking for, guys. I'm looking for #2. And the reason why is I have accepted, just like many of you, and maybe some of you guys haven't yet, accepted the fact that Nvidia has gone on an absolutely tremendous run, that Nvidia has gone absolutely parabolic, and you know what? If you weren't in it, you weren't in it. And that's okay. But the thing is, traders, there will be a couple main plays. As I already stated multiple times, AI is not going anywhere. I think AI will progressively move up like the internet. It's going to progressively keep growing, progressively keep getting ideas, progressively keep, again, developing, I would say. The thing is, there's going to be other plays out there. And are those other plays, such as the close second, is that going to be Intel? Intel, as we already looked at, is the #1 worst stock of 2024. It finished off right here with a little poop emoji. And that's pretty bad. To be the worst stock in 2024, to have this little poop emoji right here at this moment, just saying, hey, Intel kind of sucks at this time, right? That's really not that good. But at the same time, we also have Advanced Micro Devices, AMD. Now, AMD is a company that I plan on investing in 2025. I like AMD a lot. I think AMD is going to be a good winner. Now, the reason why I like AMD so much is because basically everything on their books are saying that the stock can't go down much lower. We have an absolutely incredible CEO, Sue. If you look into her, if you guys don't know her, she is, again, an incredible CEO. Also, again, their revenues are looking great. Their profitability is strong. After, again, the CEO, Lisa Su, took over back in 2000, I believe it was 15, she has had now 10 years of profitable plays. There's only been 1 year, so I guess it would be 9 years. There's only been 9 years where revenue actually went down, and that was back in 2023. 2023, revenue was in the red. Every year, though, other than that, if that's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, we are in the green. AMD is a slow and steady, safe play. AMD, as you guys can see, since the new CEO has taken on over, there has been very consistent climbs. There has been very consistent moves. There has been very consistent plays. Now, as we have talked about multiple times before, what do you guys realize? Well, not only do we have an uptrend, but we are also getting that possible perfect dip buy right off the 50-day moving average. Well, Dek, didn't you say, again, usually the best entry always is going to be right near that 50-day moving average over on AMD, or again, over on the S&P 500, or over on ISRG? Absolutely. Now, traders, I think you have to find a balance. And it's not easy to find a balance. it's not easy to be able to say to ourselves what is going to be the best entry, because a lot of people are going to have a few different I would say different ways that they talk and discuss this. Number one, they are going to say, oh, I need to check the PE ratio. I got to find something, with a good PE ratio, something more near 10, 15, something in that region, something under 20. And then I want to be able to find a good long-term investment. Some people are going to be looking at the revenues, listening to conference calls. Then again, some people are going to only do charts and say, hey, 50-day moving average touch, and go off more of the charting and the psychology behind investing. And again, realizing what's a dip by visually seeing it. I think you need both. You do. I can't just sit here and say AMD, guys, is a great company. Why? Because I think it's getting low and it's going to have a dip buy and bounce off this. That sounds very simple. That sounds very elementary, doesn't it? But at the same time, I can, again, kind of spice it up a little bit. I could say, hey, AMD has had a brand new CEO. We do have a great PE ratio. We have, again, great revenues. And also on top of that, we do have higher lows, and getting in at the 50-day moving average has been historically the best area for dip buys and bounce plays. Nvidia has been the clear-cut winner, but again, AMD's going to be having these growth years coming on up. We also do know that the majority of consumers use AMD over, again, Nvidia. We know that AMD is for Xbox. AMD is from PlayStation. AMD is the video game runner. Like, the thing is, at this moment, AMD has credibility on use case, has credibility on its revenues, has credibility on its CEO, and has credibility on its chart. Has everything it needs for that credibility. And that's what I like. I'll be honest with you. I don't strictly just look at the book. I strictly don't look at the chart. I try to think more about it to myself as, what's the real use? Where's my use case? That's what I want. I hate investing into things that I feel like are nothing but fugazi and fugazi. It's nothing but fairy dust, right? I don't like that. But I like trying to mix it all together to actually, again, say, okay, is it useful? And is it useful? Where's a good entry? And is it a good entry? And is it a good company, right? That's what we want to be looking at. So I like to kind of be well-rounded with everything that I say, not just like one random thing. All right? Now, what else do we want to be looking at here, traders? I like AMD a lot. We're going to be talking about AMD a lot. Let's keep going through this here a little bit and go to cybersecurity. Cybersecurity. So we're just talking about this right here. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. Cybersecurity, guys, is, I think, also a sleeping giant. Now, what I mean by sleeping giant is basically at this moment, the giant hasn't woken up. The giant is aware. You are aware that there is a giant in this cave, and you can hear him snoring, and maybe, again, you threw a couple pebbles at him just to irritate him a little bit, and that giant has rolled over a little bit. We could see the giant's power. We could see that. We don't want to wake this guy up. But if this guy wakes up and comes out of that cave and starts stomping around, we are running for our lives. So what would, again, be some of these sleeping giants that, have already, we know they're there, that we can hear them moan, we can hear how strong they are, but they still, I don't think, have exploded yet. And we know, again, PANW. This is definitely one that we want to be aware of, right? There's no reason in any way why cybersecurity would ever drop, why cybersecurity would ever fade, why cybersecurity would ever, again, start getting weaker. Same exact thing if you want to take a look over on CRW, right? CrowdStrike. So we do have, again, a CRWD, and then we also do have PANW. Traders, let's break it down as easy as possible. Would every single person here agree? And please disagree with me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, put me in my place. But would every single person agree with me in saying that 99% of the world, 99% of business, 99% of entrepreneurship, and how people are actually able to, and the Fortune 500 companies are on the internet nowadays? Yes, guys. Everything is on the internet. Don't you think if you are a company making billions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars or millions of dollars, or if you are a self-employed person making $100,000 or whatever, that you want to have cybersecurity, that you want to make sure that your funds aren't being stolen and your information isn't being stolen and people aren't, again, going into your back end and getting private information and this and that? As the world progresses, we are getting more technology. We are throwing things on the different clouds. We're putting it on this cloud and put it on this web and, again, lock it here and lock it here. And it's very tough. And as technology emerges, that means new threats are going to emerge. And as new threats emerge, there's always going to be a need for cybersecurity. So, what we have right here, as we talked about, unfortunately, PANW is not really near a perfect dip buying price. This does get a little tough here now and then, doesn't it, guys? It does get a little tricky every now and then. Because sometimes, and by a raise of hands, you sitting in your chair right now by yourself or with your family watching at this time and saying to yourself, how many times have you seen a play that you wanted to wait for a dip buy, but it just kept going? How many times have you said, hey, I want to get involved on a dip buy opportunity, but it just keeps going up? And hey, I want to get involved. I try to get involved on PA and W, at 100. I wanted to wait until it came up to 100 and went up to 130. And I said, you know what? I'll wait until it comes back down to 125 and it spiked up to 190. And I said, you know what? I'll wait until it comes back down to 150 and it spiked up to 200. So I get it, right? I will never say buy at the highs. Always wait for some sort of dip buy. If that's the 13 EMA, if that's the 50-day moving average, I always like to buy off some sort of area of support. But sometimes, again, when plays start getting hot, plays get hot. When some plays start getting when plays start gaining momentum, and they start taking on off and they start ripping and running. So I do want you guys to fully be aware that, PA and W, we will have pullbacks. This is not going to go parabolic like Nvidia goes. But there will be pullbacks, but I don't think cybersecurity is going to be going anywhere. And when we take a look over on CRWD, again, CRWD, I don't think cybersecurity is going anywhere. So this is another great safe investment here. As you guys know at this time, or if you guys don't know, I have currently $75,000 that I have now not invested, but I have it in my portfolio. All right, this is what I'm calling the public account. The public account is going to be the $75,000, and I am going to be investing it live with you guys. This is not day trade $75,000. $75,000 is going to be what I'm looking to be able to get in throughout 2024. And we want to see at the end of 2024, how much money do we have in this account? This is not going to be high risk, high reward. This is going to be me going through books, going through revenues, going through earnings reports, me listening to conference calls, me doing my research, me doing everything. And then again, telling you guys exactly what's happening, telling you guys what I'm looking at. And I think that's a great way for us to be able to trade. Because I know a lot of you guys want to be able to make money. That's why 99% of you guys are here. The other 0.1% just says, hey, Dek, I like you and I want to listen in. All right, that's great as well. But I'll do the research. All right, I'll do the research. I'll figure it all out. I'll, again, be able to say, all right, I like this play, and then I'll tell you why. And I'll give you my credibility. But again, that's what, 2025 is going to be. 2025, I have this big account. I want to see what we have coming on up. Now, just a little heads up, as we go into February, we are going to be doing another small account challenge. So again, are we going to be day trading? 100% we're going to be day trading, guys. Like, absolutely. But the thing is, I also want to have a larger account as well, where we want to be able to put long-term investments in. Because I also want to be transparent. Like when I find Palantir at the price of $30 and I jump in on it, I want to make sure all you guys are jumping in on it with me as well. When I'm talking about Rocket Lab back in April and May and June, and again, Rocket Lab goes crazy, I want you guys to know, hey, that's the one that we want to be on top of. And again, me talking about IO and Q over the summer and saying, hey guys, quantum computing, IO and Q, and then goes again on a 400% spike, I want you guys to be aware of it. So again, in 2025, just a little heads up for every single person here, we are going to be having our trades public in our large account that is going to be monthly long holds or annual holds, which, there might be some plays that I jump in and I'm saying, guys, I'm going to hold this for the next 3 years. There might be plays that I'm going to say, hey guys, I'm jumping on this for the next 3 months and let's see what we're going to be happening. But let me grab a screenshot of this. This is going to be right here. There's again my current account, $75,012.81 in it, just starting this off on day one right here. Now also traders, it does not matter where you guys again have that $75,000. As you guys know, I always am going to support Lightspeed. I love Lightspeed for all my day trading. If you guys say, hey, well, Dek, I have 75,000 on this or this or this, or hey, I have it on my Charles Schwab or E-Trade right now, doesn't matter. That's fine. Because the thing is, this is again a long-term account, so we're not going to be getting in and out very quickly. But I just want to show you guys where I'm starting at this moment, so everyone can say, all right, we got our starting point. We understand where Dek's at. He's at $75,000 and $12 if you guys want to get, very specific here. So that's what we have at this time. That's definitely what we want to be focusing on. Now, next thing I want to do at this moment, traders, is I actually want to go through some of my top plays, some of my top picks at this moment, and show you guys exactly where I like a lot of these entries. Do you guys mind if we do that? So I want to go through this together, kind of bring up where I like a lot of these plays, where I like a lot of these entries, and then of course going from there. So we can do this all together. All right, awesome. And let me bring over my scanners. I know a lot of you guys are getting yourself already involved on some of these plays and kicking off your 2025. And man, I'm getting jacked up, baby. I'm so excited. As always, guys, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up if you guys haven't. Right now, we are live over on YouTube and live over on Tradecaster. We want you guys to be able to enjoy, have some fun, and be able to absolutely crush it day in and day out, which we absolutely love it. All right, so what do we have at this moment here, ladies and gentlemen? What we have here is breaking this on down. I want to go over some of my top and favorite plays over in 2024, 2025. So what is going to be some of my top and favorite plays? Starting on off here, traders, I'm going to be going over to my Twitter because I posted a lot of these over on my Twitter with the awesome charting. We have starting on off Nike. $65 is my desired entry. This is one of the biggest steals of 2025, I believe. $20,000 to be added at this price. Anything sub $70, I'm honestly happy with. So let's take a look over on Nike right here at this moment, guys. We can all see that at this price of $65 is my desired entry. Desired means what I would absolutely love, but does not mean it's guaranteed, right? That's what desired is. So if I could ever get $65 on Nike, I think that would be absolutely tremendous in every single way, that you would have such a strong case of winning. Now, what can you guys realize right here? Take a look at these areas. This is all the way back in 2011, 2012. You can see 2013. All I'm doing as looking at the charting wise, we are going to be having Nike be able to consistently climb, consistently move up, consistently be building these higher lows. Now, Nike has had some few issues. Nike definitely has had some trouble. The best thing about what Nike has at this time is they are getting their new CEO coming on in, who is going to be Elliott Hill here. Elliott Hill started as the CEO way back, okay? Hill is a Nike insider who started as an intern back in 1988. And guys, that's where Nike thrived. Nike became a name back in the late 80s, the 90s, and again, boomed right around 2000. The thing I love about Nike is Nike is probably the most recognizable logo out there. When you see that Nike swoosh, you know again it's game time. Now, I can think about when I was growing up. When I was growing up, I had Nike Hyper Dunks. Again, I would wear Nike shorts when I'm playing basketball, Nike shirts. Now the thing is, I feel like Nike has lost a little bit of its touch. I'm being honest with you. I'm being frank with you. Nike, again, definitely has lost a little bit of its touch here. And one of the big things as well is Nike is in on a lot of different things, right? They have a lot of different sports. But one of the biggest ones has been basketball. And unfortunately, basketball viewership has been down very much. So the big thing that we want to be thinking about is Nike able to recover? Well, Nike, I think, with the CEO, who again was running it back during the boom time, then again he stepped out, now he's back in on it. We are going to be getting Nike at an incredible price. Over the last 3 to 4 years, Nike unfortunately made some very bad decisions. One of the bad decisions, again, was Nike was starting to go woke, right? Starting to do this, starting to do that. Guys, I don't get it. I really don't. Again, I don't care about your political belief, if it's left, if it's right, or this or right. But the thing is, as a company, as a business, don't people realize that every single time you start going a little bit to the woke side, you start losing all your money? I don't understand these CEOs who make billions of dollars who say, hey, let's go ahead and do X, let's do this, let's do that. Where again, every company that has done it starts to fail. It just does not make sense. So the thing is, that was one issue that they started going over towards. I know, again, they also started having some troubles with the Chinese labor. There was some bad news with like labor slaves going in with, again, Nike. That's obviously not good in any sort of way. We had a bad CEO. We had it going woke a little bit. We had Chinese labor slaves basically going on. We were not, again, all this bad publicity. That's one of the worst things that you can have as a company. Bad publicity. But at the end of the day, Nike is still Nike. And I still think Nike is one of the best companies in the world when it comes down to having a sports brand. So when you're taking a look at this, and we are now looking at the charting, and we are getting a price, right? We are getting a price over on Nike here, where it's a perfect uptrend. And we are jumping in on Nike all the way back on down to our desired price of $65, getting it at an absolute steal. I think that is absolutely fantastic. So let's go back over towards this here. Nike's already starting to drop. Nike is already starting to fade. You could see on a daily chart, it has consistently been fading and falling. You could see on a monthly chart, that purple line right here is what I really want to get myself involved in. Let me turn off all the other indicators so you guys can realize. And I just think that this dip buy could be great. Another great entry that you could look at as well, if you want to, is go ahead and put a big downtrend over on Nike right here. Connect the dots and say, hey, Dek, you know what? I don't feel comfortable at getting in at 75 because I know we have a downtrend, but I'll feel comfortable once we break the downtrend. I just think Nike is a very slow, a very safe, and again, a stock that has high reward with minimal risk. Minimal risk. And it's just because the puzzle is starting to come together. They made bad decisions. They had a bad CEO. They had, again, bad publicity. They had everything going against them, right? Then we have, again, the new CEO coming on in. We have an absolutely, again, amazing entry. We have an area where we are getting filled at a perfect uptrend. Getting involved in the #1 largest sports brand in the world at a dip buy that is the same dip buy back in 2017, I don't think there's much risk. Now, what I will say is out of Nike, this company right here, it's a play that's not going to go explosive. It's not going to go crazy. It's not going to go wild. It's not going to go on like a Nvidia type of move. This will be something that I think could go from $70 back up towards $98, $70 back up to $102. So I think it's going to be able to make us money, but not life-changing money. So if you are something that's maybe a little bit slow, go ahead and get involved in Nike at those desired entries. But if you are not looking for anything slow, maybe Nike is not the best one for you. Now, let's see what else we have here. Another absolutely amazing one is Wynn. Okay, Wynn, guys, this is what I'm saying is I think Wynn is a gold mine. I really do. This is going to be something that's a little bit slower, but the fact is they have approval for the first casino in UAE, which leads to untapped potential. Yes, guys, untapped, little oil joke right there on oil money is going to be insane. Guys, the UAE, close your eyes. What do you think about when you think about the UAE? I think about Dubai. I think about this like futuristic city, essentially. I think of how it seems like every single person is driving around in Ferraris and Lamborghinis. And I think about how they have a police force that is dressed up in Lambos and Ferraris, and people are just spending money and saying, how much is this penthouse? 32 million? Sure, get it. How much is this penthouse? 32 million? Sure, get it. We know that there is a crazy amount of money out in the UAE. We know that there is crazy amount of money in Dubai. I was watching Joe Rogan the other day, and I forget what episode it is. Someone can correct me if they know. But basically, they were saying that we have a list of the richest people in the world, right? And we talk about Jeff Bezos. We talk about Elon Musk. We talk about Mark Zuckerberg. But they're saying the people that they're not accounting for is, again, the people over in the UAE. That there could be people that are literally trillionaires over in the UAE, over in Dubai, with, again, how much money that they have from oil. So, what we actually have coming on up, which is pretty insane at this time, is Wynn is going to be opening up in 2027 over in UAE. So again, expected to open in the first quarter of 2027. And you know what's so nuts about this, traders? It's essentially just going to be like an entire island. It's an entire island right here over on UAE with their casino. Let's just take a moment. If Dubai has never had a casino before, and all of a sudden a casino opens on up, especially something that is as fancy as the Wynn. Because if you guys don't know what Wynn is like more of like the upscale casino if you guys ever go to Vegas. If you guys ever go to Vegas, it's like very expensive to stay there. It's very nice to stay there. They have one of the best like nightclubs where, again, the most famous DJs go. You see a whole bunch of cars that are very nice parked out front. I bet you when this casino is 100% done, it's going to be a place to be in Dubai. People are going to want to go there and, again, bring their wives or girlfriends or husbands or whoever, right? And be able to say, hey, let's go to the Wynn. And all of a sudden, these people who have never gambled before start gambling. And all of a sudden, they realize they could put $100 million on black and get $100 million. And we already know the house already always wins. Guys, the house wins. That's how it is. The odds are in their favor. All of a sudden, the first ever untapped oil money starts going over towards the Wynn. Traders, the Wynn has only been dropping, right? The Wynn has been dropping because of why? Well, because number one, they had to go through the pandemic. We already know that. For the Wynn to go through the pandemic and still be able to survive is such a tough thing. And then number two, we've had high interest rates. So we have one of the most luxurious companies get beaten down, 100% have gotten beaten down over the last 2.5, 3 years. But now we're going to be cutting interest rates. And again, in the next year and a half, they're going to be opening on up their brand new UAE. And as we already talked about before earlier in the stream, we are not again waiting till things open on up. We don't want to wait till things are here to invest. We want to invest off of future value. It's future. What is going to be happening coming up in the future? So the thing is, when I take a look over on the Wynn, we break out of $100, things go crazy. But take a look at how many bounce plays we have had off these bottom areas, right? We have $75, or this bottom area is actually $60, $60, $60, $60. The desired entry over on Wynn would be 60. But a more realistic area, I think, would be right around like 75. Because I do think we're going to start building some sort of higher lows. I do think we're going to start moving ourselves on up. And also, Wynn pays dividends. So again, Wynn right now is, I believe, at 0.25 dividend. You'll be able to get it up towards around 0.50 most likely as they start making more money. So not only is it going to be a slow trade that I think has a lot of opportunity, but I also think this is going to be a good play that if you hold, it's going to be moving on up. And as you hold it, it's also going to be paying you a dividend as well. So I mean, guys, it's like, two great things right there, right off the rip. All right, let's keep going down. Let's look at this one, guys. This is another play that I absolutely love. Next one is going to be BWXT. This is going to be leading the SMR wave. Imagine PLTR, but for nuclear. This is where you want to look. Desired entry is going to be 102 to 107, only doing $10,000. They're still 4 years away from any major SMR progress. So what we have at this time, traders, this comes down to nuclear. Okay? Now, I've gone into some speeches and some spiels on why I love nuclear so much. Nuclear, it is the cleanest energy out there. There's nothing cleaner than, again, nuclear. Second, it's the strongest energy supply we have out there. When we are again looking at what's the strongest thing to power our AI, okay, and what is going to be the cleanest thing to power our AI, we want to be using nuclear. Every single company knows this. We know that our grid cannot handle the amount of strain and force and energy that we need to actually use nuclear. That is why Amazon last spring bought a nuclear power plant in Pennsylvania. That's why Microsoft is getting 3 Mile Island, the nuclear power plant, back open and running. That's why Meta and all these other companies are investing into nuclear at this moment, because they realize it's the only option. Imagine doing this, guys. Imagine being a Fortune 500 company and buying billions of dollars of chips, okay? And saying, yes, we have all these chips. We have all of these chips that we can be able to make AI with. And saying, all right, well, let's boot it on up. Let's plug that bad boy on in. And they say, well, we actually can't do that. And they say, what? Wait, what do you mean? We just spent $2 billion. We just spent $20 billion in chips. What do you mean we can't use them? Well, again, like right now, like we don't actually have enough energy. Like we just, like our grid can't handle like what we want to do. So it's like, what? So we just spent, again, $20-40 billion on these chips and we can't actually use them to their full potential? It's like we can start them up, but we really can't, again, like program what we want just because it's not really strong enough yet. So what do you think they're doing? Do you think, again, they're going to allow themselves to lose? No, that's why they're buying these power plants and buying these nuclear plates and investing into SMRs. So SMRs, small modular reactors, right? What we want to see right here at this time is when these SMRs are being built, I like BWXT the best. The reason why I like BWXT the best is because this is the largest. This is the most credible as of now. There are non-credible, or I would say smaller high-risk plays out there, such as RYCEY, which people absolutely love, right? Rolls-Royce. We have, again, NEE, which is a newer IPO play, which, again, is moving itself on up. Or not newer IPO play, excuse me. This play, again, has been moving from $11 all the way up to $72. Next era energy right here. You can also invest over into uranium, which is needed to mine to be able to make nuclear and make these SMRs. So if you're saying what is an SMR, instead of opening on up an entire nuclear power plant, an SMR can be made in a factory. An SMR is smaller than opening on up an entire nuclear power plant. An SMR can be able to be used instead of opening an entire nuclear power plant for somewhere that's randomly off the grid, like randomly like isolated. You could just put an SMR there and it'll work. So basically it's a smaller version of being able to have nuclear power, right? And be able to run these AI chips. It's cleaner. Also, it's safer. There's less regulation behind it because, like, I was watching an interview before where Trump was talking about setting up nuclear power plants, and he's like, nuclear power plants are just so annoying because he's like, you got to have everything so perfect, because obviously if there was ever a meltdown, something bad could really happen. But he's like, you spend $10 billion being able to make a nuclear power plant, or whatever the amount is, and if you make, again, the wall this thick instead of this thick, you got to knock the whole entire thing on down and start over. So it's like there's so many things that need to be approved, which is why, again, SMRs could be much better. A much more affordable option, could be a much safer option, could be a quicker option, could be whatever. But if we see that all these companies are buying AI, and these AI need some sort of stronger power that the grid cannot supply at this time, so they're all going over to nuclear, well, guess what? SMRs may be where we want to invest into. Or again, investing into uranium mining such as CCJ. Or again, investing into good credible companies like BWXT, which has been slowly moving on up. The reason why I compare BWXT over towards PLTR is because one of the best things about PLTR that people love. What is it, guys? There's one thing that people love about Palantir. Palantir, for anyone who does not know, was the number 3 best company of 2024. Okay, so again, you can actually see right here, number 3, 340% gain. The one thing that I love so much about BWXT is the fact that just like Palantir, they have government contracts. When you have commercial contracts and you have government contracts, that's what makes these plays so special. So the thing is, you have BWXT right here. It says BWXT, together with its subsidiaries, manufactures, sells nuclear components in the United States, Canada, and international. It operates in 2 segments: government operations and commercial operations. The government operations segment designs, manufactures naval nuclear components, so the Navy uses them. Guys, the Navy uses BWXT and uses their nuclear program, right? This is what's fueling our submarines and things like that. So if we have, we're going to be getting stockpiles of uranium, received storage characterizations. They also, I believe, talk about SMRs in here as well. So this is like this is that nuclear energy investment, if you guys would like to. Now, again, as I said, this is still a pretty far away before I think this catches a lot of fire, but I still think it would be great as a visionary, as again doing what we want to do coming up in the future, and maybe getting ourselves in early. But I would definitely be looking at either 2 different areas. Number 1, guys, would be up more towards around that 107 mark, which would be, again, old high, old high, old high, that would hold up as support. Or again, 102. 102 would be the uptrend area. You can see, let me get out of the way, dip buy, dip buy, dip buy. And you can see dip buy, dip buy, dip buy. So you guys can see how these are still continuously moving on up. These are consistently climbing. These are consistently getting its next leg. Okay? So these are all plays that I definitely want to be able to see if these are going to be able to consistently move on up, consistently climb, and consistently rip. Start a little bit smaller over on this one because this is still relatively new and it's probably going to take a few years before it kind of turns into the hype wave. I'll tell you that right now. I don't think it's going to be the hype wave of 2025, but it could be the hype wave of 2026, 2027. So make sure that you guys are on top of that. So BWXT, wait for that pullback. What's another play that we want to be looking at, guys, is going to be AMD. So AMD right here. AMD 107 is my desired entry. Once we hit this price, I'm putting no less than $50,000 in on this play. So I love AMD this year. I really do. I've talked about AMD a lot. I've talked about AMD on what I believe is going to be happening and what's going to be coming on up in the future. And again, I am giving you guys visuals at this moment. I want you guys to understand in very simple elementary standards on why I like the entries that I do. There is multiple parts of finding a great entry on a stock. If that is going to be getting involved on a stock because of, let's say, oh, we're getting involved on this play because of its PE ratio, or getting involved because of its latest earnings, or its partnerships, or the CEO, or this or that. And again, AMD is ticking all those boxes. But AMD, what I want is I want to get filled at areas where I know we can have awesome dips, where I know we're going to have safe dips, where I know we're going to have safe entries. So I know a lot of people right now are saying, well, Dek, AMD might not come down towards 107. Like, we might not see 107. We might see 120. We might see 115. But what happens like if it hits 115 and it goes back on up? Do we just never get filled? And that's where, again, stock trading gets tough. It's okay. If you love AMD and you say, Dek, there's no way that this stock does not thrive, and you get filled at the price of 120 right now, and you say, hey, you know what? I'm in. I'm happy with it. That's fine. If you guys, again, want to get filled on BWXT and say, hey, Dek, I want to get filled at the price of, again, 105 or 113, I just think it's a great long-term investment. Who cares about $6, right? If you are getting involved in a $100 stock Who cares about a $6 difference if you plan on holding this for 12 months? Because you shouldn't be getting involved into a play if you don't think it's going to move $6 on a $100 stock over the next 12 months. So if you want to get involved in BWXT at 113, go for it. If you want to get involved in Wynn at $85, go for it. If you want to get involved in Nike at the price of, again, $75, go for it. And again, today could be a starting point day where you basically say to yourself, hey, all these companies right here, I definitely think they have great opportunities to be able to move themselves on up. So let me, again, start on off with, starting points. AMD, as we talked about, great entry is going to be coming on up. AMD is one of the largest chip suppliers, chip manufacturers in the world. They, again, have an amazing CEO. They're green 9 out of the last 10 years with revenues and profitability. They run the PlayStation and Xbox chips. I have an AMD chip in my computer right now. So consumer base, they're absolutely crushing it. And I just think they're set up for success. I think basically the entire hype, the whole entire world went over to Nvidia. And I think a lot of people are going to say Nvidia, it's a monster. It's a beast, and Nvidia is great. Please don't say that I don't like Nvidia. I love Nvidia. But I think a lot of people are going to say, well, what's going to be the clear-cut number 2? What's going to be number 2, guys? Because there will always be a catch-up and competition, right? Just like when we had Tesla first come out with electric vehicles. Then again, other companies came out with electric vehicles and people caught up to Tesla in the electric vehicle world. Same exact thing's going to happen with Nvidia. Nvidia is the clear-cut winner, but other companies are going to catch up to Nvidia. Other companies are going to be able to catch up to these areas. So this is a play that I definitely like. And again, you're getting it on an amazing discount, and it lost 18% last year. So I know a lot of people are talking about, AMD saying, AMD doesn't stand for advanced micro devices. It stands for advanced money destroyer. Right? Basically, if you put your money into it, you lose. But remember, the entries that we're getting are absolutely fantastic. The entries, I am looking and I'm only giving you guys areas where I think truly we have low risk and high reward. So if we take a look over on AMD, 107, incredible price, I believe. BWXT, 102, incredible price, I believe. Right? Wynn, 60, more realistic, 75, incredible price, I believe. Nike, 65. Incredible price. All of these prices are prices off of massive dip buys over long-term trends. All of these prices are not, hey guys, let's buy in at the very tippity top. Oh, they say the higher we go, the more money we make. No, guys, I'm not telling you any of that. I'm telling you these plays before they start again blowing up and before these plays start going crazy. Okay, so let's just see where we're at right now. Okay, because today's a fresh start. Today's a new day. So where are we at right now with some of these plays? We got BWXT at this moment currently sitting at 112. Remember, we want this play back on down more towards, if we want to break this thing on down, go back to our weekly chart right here. We want this more back down towards this area, right? That 105 mark, 106 mark, right? We want to be able to get back down towards around more this area. Remember, if you're a long-term investment, you might say, who cares? I'm getting in right now. I'm holding it for 12 months. I don't care about $7. That's fine, right? Take a look over on Nike. Nike, guys, still dropping on down even lower. Nike was up to $76. Right now it's back down to $75, still getting weaker, still fading. And again, still could be that awesome dip buy that we want in the future, especially as it drops another like $4 to $5. It's going to be fantastic. Wynn right here, guys. Love it. Get lower, Wynn. Keep on fading, keep on dropping. Again, this all the way at the bottom of the $60 mark would really be incredible, but that's a little bit of a hard fade, guys. Really, we need some hard sell-offs here. I think more realistically is going to be more maybe back on down like sub 80. Like sub 80 realistically could be a much better entry. I would love to be able to see it back down to 60, but at the same time, guys, like I don't know if that's going to actually be a realistic option. I think a much more realistic low 80s to again high 70s is going to be much better. So, that's going to be something I want to see. AMD today at 122. So AMD today, we were back down towards 120. It's currently sitting at 122 at this moment. We definitely want to continue to keep our eyes peeled over on AMD. Some people might be connecting some trend lines as well, saying, hey, Dek, AMD, we might be holding this, trend line right here, start moving ourselves back on up in the near future. Absolutely. So again, depending on what time frame you look at, you could definitely see different trends. You definitely could see different entry points. And again, AMD is a stock that I really do like a lot. As you guys know, I think easily AMD could shoot back up towards near 200. Remember, if we go back towards its monthly areas, its record highs are all the way up to 225. I mean, even this old spiking high is up towards around 163, right? So we have a lot of great opportunity behind these plays. So we just want to stay ready on everything that we do. We want to stay involved on these stocks. But I really wanted to kind of break down these plays and kind of see like where we're at. Let me see if I can find anything right here. I want to see bang bang bang. I want to see ba 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 ba. Sometimes I'll take a look over on this site as well. Come on over here if it can load on up. Called Tip Ranks. So Tip Ranks, guys, will give you different ideas. And again, not guarantees in any sort of way. But if you guys take a look over here, these are what the analysts are saying. Okay? So let's just kind of, out of the plays that I gave you guys, let's see what the analysts are saying. So over the next 12-month forecast, let's see what people are saying at this moment. The low. Analysts are saying the bear case is that AMD finishes off next year at 145. Well, guys, that's pretty awesome. Because if they're saying the worst case scenario is AMD finishes off at 145, guys, the stock's at 121 right now. So they're saying the worst case scenario, and it's not guaranteed, but they're saying analysts are predicting that the worst case scenario is this stock climbs $25. That's a great worst case scenario. What's one of the best case scenario? $250. So moderate buy at this time, but I mean, it should probably be more towards a like buy, right? Strong buy. Because if they're having analysts basically stating that the worst case scenario is it goes up, it should be a good and solid buy at this time, right? What else do we have here? Let's see where Nike's at. Taking a look over here. When we take a look at Nike, what do we have? It's at $86. High 120, low 69, average 86.57. So they're basically saying at this moment, Nike, it has limited downside, right? It has about $17 it could drop. On the upside, though, it has what? About $25 it can climb. So, I mean, no matter what stock you look at, we don't ever want to find anything that there's more risk than a reward. Does that make sense? We could have at this time $15 we can fall, but then we want to have about $30 we can climb. If we take a look at Nike, at least while this is not bear case is above our current price, like AMD is, our bear case is still, again, slightly lower, but we want to wait until about $75 to get in regardless, or underneath 80, and then we would have more reward. Remember, the lower the stock goes, the more reward we have, right? Let's go to the next one. B to WXT, right? When we take a look over on this play here, what do we have? Moderate buy. Low case, 105, okay? 105. Average, 106, or 136, excuse me, and high 166. Right now, when we take a look at this play, right, BWXT, where are we currently sitting at? 111. So traders, we're at 111. The low for the next 12 months, what they're predicting is $105. The average, 136. So on average, like they're saying, average will be at least a $25 climb. And again, a nice bull case would be $50 plus. Again, these are good plays that we like. What about Wynn here? Right, when I take a look over on Wynn right here. At Wynn at this time, let me see where we're at here. That kind of looks a little wrong. Wynn is at $85, right? Are they saying that the low bear case is 103? Average 116, high 125. So this is just falling into the same exact case as we just had with AMD, where right now at this moment, traders, we're at $85, okay? So Wynn is at 85 bucks. You're telling me that the bear case is 103, the average is 116, and the high is 125? So just like AMD, the worst case scenario that analysts have is it goes up, but not as maybe like super up. But the bull case is up very high. This is the only one we actually looked at as well that says strong buy. And again, this is a strong buy, even though it's a little bit slower, is with the UAE contract coming on in and everything. That's going to definitely be very big and very important to us. Okay? So those are, again, some plays starting on off that we definitely want to be aware of and be ready on. Now, I know I don't want to ever root against the grain here, but I am rooting for maybe 1 to 2 big drops over in January. I am rooting to see if the S&P 500 maybe gets a little scared, right? Maybe the S&P 500 does get a pullback back down towards the 560s, where again, people start saying, all right, hey, here's the January dip. Here's again that weakness. Here's that fade. Here's that drop. Here's again a little bit of that sell-off, right? So I really want to see if these plays are going to start getting those fades and those drops and those weakness that a lot of us are interested on and a lot of us are ready on. I mean, guys, there's going to be a lot of things coming on up, but I'm excited. I'm very, very excited throughout, this whole entire period and seeing what is going to be coming on up here next and then going from there. Traders, awesome job so far. We've been crushing it for about an hour right now. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns? I know probably a lot of people. And also, can I ask, are you guys loving this right now? Are you guys enjoying being here? Are you guys enjoying again the stocks that I'm going over? Are you guys enjoying again the plays that I'm kind of talking about right here? I want to make sure that you guys are all set, ready to rock. So if you guys are, hey, stay alert and stay ready. Stay alert, stay ready here. Stock Billion saying, Dek, question, boss. I feel like I made a stupid decision to buy the dip over on QTTB at 550. I only did it because it dropped from the 50s, but it's been dropping ever since. So let's see here. QTTB. I don't even know what company this is. QTTB. It went from $55 and now again back down to $3. The thing is, I do not know what this stock is. Okay, so I'm just going to be honest and frank with you right there. I have to look into it, but I will say this. Okay, let me just start by saying this right away. You are not doing, you're taking a risk 100%, but at the same time, you are buying a stock after a $50 drop. Is there risk? Yes, but at the same time, you didn't get in at $50. You didn't get in at $40. You bought a stock after it has already fallen $50. Now you got to find, why did that stock fall? Well, Dek, it's a complete scam. It's a fraud. No one ever likes this play. Okay, well then maybe we shouldn't be in on it. But if it had we didn't have success on our trials. This partnership didn't work. The CEO is resigning. Like something like that. That's bad news, but that's still recoverable news. So while I don't hate the play, I would have to, again, you have to figure out why is that stock falling and seeing okay, can it recover from that, right? So, I like your risk and reward. You're buying all the way out after a $50 drop back down to $5. RGTI right here. Still trying to push on up here slightly. RGTI, a little bit of a spike right back on up. Quantum's holding better than I thought. It really is. Quantum is holding better than I thought it would be. A lot of times, when it comes to these quantum plays, it's are these just, and I still don't know. Is this one big pump off of hype wave, or is this thing actually legit and it's going to continuously climb and we're going to see these plays, just keep going higher and higher and higher and higher, right? So who knows here? That's the tough thing, and I'm not going to sit here and say I know every single answer because unfortunately I don't know every single answer, guys. I don't, but I only want to give you guys the best answers I can. Let's kind of see what we have so far here today, guys. Little heads on up out of today on all of these best plays. Let's see how well the news has held on up. XPON spiked up 77% over on earnings today. XPON did go on a monster spike, then came back on down. The best stock that we alerted here today, guys, was what? CTCX. Is that one still holding itself? CTCX. Oh, that one went on a great spike today. And traders, again, very simple, okay? People ask me this question every single day. And I mean, I have lessons on this and everything, but it really is as simple as this. People always say, Dek, we take a look and we alerted the CTCX. We alerted CTCX at the time of 8:01 a.m., right? 8:01, 1 minute. 1 minute after the stock came out with its hot press release. So that would be like us telling you, or at least you being aware of, again, CTCX at the price of 37 cents. For you to be able to get involved and be aware of CTCX at the price of 37 cents is pretty incredible, because you could be able to see it go from 40 cents to 60 cents to 80 cents to 90 cents all the way up to $1.20. So how in the world are we able to alert this play at 8:01? And guys, all you have to do is just have Foxrunner. It's really as simple as that, right? So they even say it right here. When it comes to finding hot press releases, the most important thing is just be ready. All right, here's a quick breakdown. News always comes out at 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock, or 8:30. Filter out on Foxrunner the news scan with floats under 20 million, because we know, again, the lowest floats are going to spike. Apply your keywords with the Foxrunner default keywords. Watch the answers be given to you, as you will now only receive high potential news. Not every stock will break out, but you will receive the best ones and have the opportunity to break out. So, for anyone who does not know, again, I'll just walk you through this. every single day, what do? I go over to the float. I put 0 to about 17 million, right? Sometimes 15 million, but I know I always want to look at low float plays. Then on top of that, I have all the keywords that I like. If any of these words show up in a press release, it will be highlighted for me. And then on top of that, we have all the 3-star words that are already on the defaults anyway, right? So, very simple, very easy. All I do at this point is I just watch the news scanner, and then we know at 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock, all the hot news comes on out. So 7 o'clock, we have some news, we have some hot press releases, and yes, I do look through these to see if they get any sort of hype. But really what happened? At 8 o'clock here, traders, easy as this. 8 o'clock, I'm watching the scanner. Let me get out of the way here slightly. I'm going to kind of talk to you guys from over here so you guys can see, is that at 8 o'clock, we have the news come on out. 8 o'clock, CTCX right here. CTCX, 3-star word. 3-star word, it says it announced an agreement. Beautiful. It literally says it right here. Announces an agreement to do what? To acquire a skincare company, right? When you acquire another company, really the only option is to go up, okay? So why is it only to go on up? Because you're acquiring their business, you're acquiring their revenues, you're acquiring their assets, you're acquiring absolutely everything. You're acquiring everything, guys. So again, when it comes on down to these plays, I want you guys to realize CTCX right here has this press release. This press release came on out. And again, it says for an agreement. That is where I knew right away, hey, lower float play with an agreement press release. I want to make sure that you're all good, ready to go. Now, some people might say, well, Dek, why doesn't, let's say, FU spike? That one has an agreement as well. This has an agreement that has to do with Bitcoin. Unfortunately, again, right now, Bitcoin underneath 100,000 just isn't spiking as hard. Right? This one, Dek, well, why didn't this one spike on up? Well, this one, again, says it has a patent for treatment and talks about the intellectual property office. Again, treatment's great. Treatment's a great keyword when we're talking about, let's say, a drug, right? When we're saying, oh, we have a treatment on cancer that has shown 96% improvements. Not just off a patent. Well, Dek, why didn't this one go on a spike? Well, again, this one's just saying it has an upcoming conference, right? So keywords are great. Keywords are awesome. But at the same time, it's not guaranteed that every single one is going to spike. You still have to do your research. You still have to have an understanding. Saying, well, Dek, what about NITO? NITO announces that it has approval to be able to work with this company. It was approval to obtain this committee. Well, how did NITO go? NITO with the approval, take a look. NITO is one of the best plays today. That play, again, you guys can literally see this at the time of 8:05. 8:05 a.m., NITO came out with the press release. That's the time of 8:05. If you literally have Fox Runner, it gives you the answer. And then again, the stock spiked all the way up towards $1. So NITO, you guys are alerted at it of 28 cents. And then again, CTCX, you guys are alerted of this one at the price of 31 cents. So for anyone that's ever wondering, how again do I get these plays? How do I find these plays? How do I again post them so quickly? Guys, I wish I could sit here and just be like, all I do is close my eyes. And I, again, just try to feel the vibrations of, again, the stock market. Unfortunately, that's not what I do. Unfortunately, I just use the best equipment out there and they give me the answers. Okay? So I'm not going to sit here and say, again, oh, all you got to do is, again, put your hand on the ground. And then, again, you got to feel the ground. And, again, whatever ticker comes to your mind, you buy. No. Again, you have to use, again, the best news scanner equipment. You got to be able to say to yourself, oh, yeah, this makes sense. So if you guys do not, make sure you guys sign up to, again, 30-day free pass. So you guys literally will get a free 30-day pass so that you guys are all set, ready to rock and roll, so that you guys are all good. All right. Let's keep it going here, guys. NITO still, again, continuously moving on up. NITO consistently climbing right here. NITO consistently still grinding at this moment. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Traders, give me 2 seconds right here. I'm just going to run across the room, flip on the AC, getting a little hot, talking about all this great stuff, talking about all this great activity, getting a little fired up right now at this moment. Give me 1 second. We'll be right back, ready to rock and roll. Stay ready. Stay excited. Stay enthusiastic. I want to turn you on, baby. Let's get ready to work.
computers never sleep. It's verified. It's guaranteed. NFT for your vanity. Computers never sleep. It's verified. It's guaranteed. NFT.
All right. Enough of that song, huh? Enough of that song, eh? Enough of that song, eh? Traders, obviously, we want to stay focused, stay ready, stay hungry every single day. LVR Deck, can you get a free 30-day pass if you had it already for free when they first started on up? Unfortunately, no. So again, unfortunately, you only get one free 30-day pass. I mean, that's just how it works with every single business. It's just, they just don't want you re-signing up. So really what it comes on down to is once you have one 30-day pass, that's the only one you do get. Let's see what we have here coming on up here, though, traders. Obviously excited, focused, dialed in, ready to rock. Went over a lot of different plays here today. And I know, again, I did not do any sort of trades, but I really want, like, today, I wanted to go over what, like, I'm expecting, what I'm looking at, what I'm really focused on for 2024 or 2025, excuse me. Let's see again, how's the market doing right now? If we go on over towards the S&P 500, take a look at this play. S&P 500 is getting a little bit weaker. Let's go ahead and see what we have at this time. It says Tesla shares slide after reports first drop in annual deliveries. So Tesla's fourth quarter and year-end vehicle production and deliveries report follow a huge late-year rally in the company's stock price. The first quarter of the year was challenging, and CEO Elon Musk cautioned investors of slower growth this year, but results improved later in the year. Tesla, which used to have the electric vehicle market mostly to itself, is facing formidable competition now, notably from Hyundai and China's BYD. So Tesla posted its fourth quarter production vehicles, total deliveries, quarter four, 494, total production, 459, total annual deliveries, 1.7 million, total annual production, 1.7. So results of the quarter, first annual drop in delivery numbers, which Tesla reported 1.81 million deliveries in 2023. It reported 484,000 deliveries in the fourth quarter of 2023. Whoa, guys. That's a pretty big difference. Like that is really big here. So we actually take a look. It says Tesla reported 1.81 million deliveries in 2023. It reported 484,507 deliveries in the fourth quarter of 2023. So we are seeing Tesla shares fell as much as 7% in trading on Friday. God. You know what's funny to take a look at right now? Go on over towards Tesla stock, right? Tesla stock, year to date, right now down 2%. Tesla's red on the year, baby. How long will that last, right? How long will that last, though? Tesla is red on the year. Does anyone want to buy Tesla right now? Red on the year. You are getting it at the best price you possibly can in 2025. So Tesla is taking a hit right now, all from these drops that we are seeing at this moment on its annual deliveries. Crypto, Roaring Kitty, and Fartcoin market picks up to start 2025. Man, guys, the way that some people trade are just insane. Imagine your grandpa reading this headline. Imagine your grandpa, who was a long-term investor, who's in on Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, and saying, put your money in the stock market and don't touch it. And he's like, let's see how the market's doing in 2025. And he comes over and he says, crypto, Roaring Kitty, and Fartcoin all again pick up to start 2025. Talk about a guy who probably has no idea where he even is. He probably thinks he's either facing dementia, or again, he just does not understand how stock trading works anymore. All right. I mean, traders, this is the world we live in now in the investing world. So we are seeing a lot of climbing at this moment. What do we have? Crypto traders jumping, roaring kitty, boosting meme stocks, broader market ripping in a no apparent catalyst. Animal spirits are on the loose of the dawn of 2025. What are we talking about? Who wrote this? Many spec stock pockets are surging on Thursday. Stock Tide, MicroStrategy, Coinbase, Riot, Fartcoin is now up 45%. Man, guys, it is so nuts. It is so nuts what we have right here. It is so nuts how, again, we trade at this moment. Or it say MARA, Unity software. Unity software. Why was this so big back in the day? Guys, please correct me. Help me out here. Why was this so big back in the day with Unity? I'm trying to go through my mind right now, and I'm going through all the giant parts of it at this moment, and I'm trying to get back to, I believe, this was when the metaverse was going to be a big thing. Do you guys remember when the metaverse was going to be a big thing? And we were going to put goggles on and we were going to live inside the metaverse. And what do I mean by live inside the metaverse? Basically, it'd be like you live within the internet and you have your job within the internet. And you, again, could have like a whole entire ecosystem, an environment in the internet, but in the metaverse, where you put your goggles on and then you could be an avatar and you could float around in space and you, again, could make up anything and you could, right? Remember that when that happened? Or if I'm wrong here, I believe Unity, right, was going to be one of the creators, right, of the metaverse and be able to work with Meta. But ever since then, it did not work out. Guys, remember what what we had here for the metaverse? This was the metaverse. I'll bring this on up if you guys do not remember. This is what the metaverse was. Oh, it's a giraffe! It's a giraffe! Oh, there I am! Oh, look at me! Pick it up! Pick up the weapon! Oh yeah! Oh, it's a snake! Watch out! It's a monkey! Oh, where am I? Oh, where am I? And it never really took on off. It never really took on off there. Never really got too big. So right now we want to see here, see what we get, see what's going to be coming on up here in the future with a lot of these plays. Unity's starting to drop as well. I want to see here, guys, if there's anything big. What's the big thing? Mortgage demand dives nearly 22% to end 2024. Mortgage. December is typically the slowest month of the year for home sales. The mortgage figures are seasonally adjusted, and the annual comparison shows considerable weakness. The average contract interest rate for the 30-year fixed-rate mortgages with conforming loan balances of $766,000 or less increased to 6.9% from 6.89%. So interest rates are still high. A sharp rise in mortgage interest rates towards the end of December took its toll on mortgage demand. So guys, another year of housing, another year of the housing market, another year of housing coming on up. Make sure that you guys are fully aware of everything that's going to be coming up in housing. And, you know, I've gone over this before, but traders, at this time, like, unfortunately, housing, I don't see it getting any cheaper in any sort of way, right? You just can't. And I've drawn this out, but it's just the start of 2025, so let's just draw it out one more time. We already know housing started going crazy during the pandemic, right? That's when housing started going really crazy. We have a house right here. This house is available for sale. And what did we have, guys? We had every single person saying, I want to buy this home, right? I'm giving you guys a little history lesson right now. And why did every single person want to buy this home? Well, because we had interest rates down to nothing, right? Interest rates were at like 2%, they were at 1%, it was like nothing, right? So every person was willing to buy a house. But the thing was, since every person was willing to buy a house, we just started seeing the prices of these houses absolutely go crazy. If this guy came on out and he said, hey, I'll give you again $200,000 for this house. This guy said, I'll give you $300,000 for this house. And then this guy said, I'll give you $500,000 for this house. And then this guy would get the house, right? That's what it was for, again, all of 2021, 2022, 2023. That's all it was. Where basically people kept bidding until you were the last guy left. Then, what did we start seeing? Then what started happening, guys, was the fact that interest rates started going on up. And interest rates got all the way on up, as we know, to like 7%, 7.5%. Then we started seeing more houses available. Or excuse me, we started seeing a lot of people saying to themselves, hey guys, like the housing market's going to start coming down. It's going to be things that we can all afford. But that never happened. We didn't see housing prices ever drop. We just started seeing housing markets kind of plateau / slightly rise here still. Why? Why is it when, again, everyone said, oh, high interest rates now again, the housing market's going to drop and fade. But if honestly, all it really did was just slowly move on up. Now, why did it slowly move on up? Well, because no one wanted to sell their home. If you sold your home, you would have gotten a high price, which is great. But you would have had to buy another house for a high price with interest rates. So the thing is, while we had a lot of people bidding on houses before, well, now there's just no demand or there's no supply. So there's not many houses available to trade because not many people are selling their homes. So that's why, again, housing prices are staying very small, or housing prices are staying very high. But now guess what's about to happen? As we go into 2025, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start doing something we haven't done in a while, which is going to be slashing these rates again. And as we slash these rates, and let's say again, interest rates start coming back on down to 5%, as interest rates start coming back on down to 4%, what do you guys think is about to happen? Well, now, same exact thing. Hey guys, my house is for sale. Oh wow, I've been waiting 4 years to buy a house. Guess what? I'll give you again $500,000 for this. That's what you bought it for. I'll give you $500,000. This guy goes, I'll give you $600,000. This guy says, I'll give you $700,000. So basically, housing prices never dropped, and now we're about to cut interest rates and go back down to where we just were. So now we're going to go back up to $500,000, $600,000, and it's just going to be another race to, okay, hey, we got low interest rates, let's do it. And then we're just going to have housing prices continue to push on up even harder again. So basically what we have at this moment, guys, and I know it's tough. I know, again, it's very frustrating. If you already own a home, sit back and enjoy it. If you guys are already owning a home, if you guys are already in the game, if you guys already have a house, if you guys are already sitting in your office right now, sit back and enjoy it. Sit back and enjoy the luxury of, again, already being in, already, again, making this money. You're sitting, the way I think about it, guys, is I'm sitting in a bank account right now. All right, I'm sitting in a current bank account at this moment. That's great. That's awesome to be thinking about. Like, and it's consistently moving on up. But I understand. If you are not in a house right now, if you are still waiting, it's tough, because I don't want to say, oh guys, hey, it's going to be another 2, 3, 4 years of the housing market just continuously going on up. But it's either you have two options. You either continue to wait, you continue to rent, you continue to do what you're doing right now, or you just pull the trigger and you say, I'm getting in, and you know what? Real estate will continue to move up over time. Will there be a housing pullback? Of course there can, and there most likely will be at some point. But will that be 2030? Will that be 2035? Like, would it be worth it still to buy in right now? And then again, you guess what? We have a pullback, let's say in the next 5 years, and it just comes back down to where you started, and at least you had a house the entire time, right? It's almost like the stock market, right? Real estate and the stock market are very similar in ways where your house is going to appreciate over time. Your home is going to appreciate over time. They don't make any more land. So if you are in a good area, your home is going to appreciate. That's just how it works. So is it better for you to sit out for the next 2 years and wait for a crash? Or is it better for you just to get in, and you know what? Even if it does crash, you're still going to be up in profit. Even if it does crash, you'll still be above where you even bought it at, right? So the longer you're in for, the better chance you have of always staying in the green no matter what. So that's again where the housing market is right here, traders. If you're in on a home already, you're fine. You're going to be sitting good and your house is going to keep appreciating. You're going to keep making money. Again, you're not in a home yet. I know it's tough and I know it's frustrating because, again, I was there. At some point, you just got to pull the trigger and, get after it. So, it comes down to you and obviously your funds and how you could be able to, what you're going to be doing next. So we will continue to stay alert. We will continue to stay watching. But I will also say December is usually the best time to buy a home as well. And you might say, well, Dek, why? December is always the month where there's the lowest amount of home sales. And that's usually when you can bargain the most. Usually the hottest time is going to be spring, summer. Spring, summer, guys, people put their houses up for sale. They look nice. They're beautiful. The yard's done. Landscaping's good. It has a lot more curb appeal. You could sell it for more money. So it's kind of tough because sometimes people don't put their homes available for sale until the spring and summer. But December is always the worst month of the year for sales of homes. But sometimes you don't have as many nice homes. So you don't have as many options and you don't have as many nice homes. A lot of nicer homes might, again, go for sale in the spring or summer. So again, they have that higher curb appeal and the seller can also get more money from it. So we'll be watching. We'll be watching. Let's go, let's see this real quick. Look at this, traders. We have, at this time, United States housing market. Okay? United States housing market. The median home has increased over the last year 5%. So again, most likely, your home has increased 5% over the last year. Okay? Over the last 3 years, you can see a nice little uptrend. And again, over the last 5 years, you can see a very nice uptrend. Over the last 5 years has been pretty crazy. A $300,000 home now costs roughly around $440,000. So over the last, again, 5 years, your home has probably appreciated about $130,000 if you bought it right around the median. Oh, look at this. Top 10 cities with the fastest growing pace. Detroit is actually winning right now. So the top 10 metros in U.S. with the fastest growing homes. We have, again, Detroit, Richmond, Virginia, Cleveland, Ohio, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Charleston, South Carolina, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Greensboro, North Carolina, Toledo, Raleigh, North Carolina, and Buffalo. Then we looked at this the other week, and I was like, oh yeah, North Carolina's, and for some reason it didn't say what we were looking at. I personally know 3 people that moved to North Carolina, and I know 2 people that moved to South Carolina. So again, Charleston getting a lot, 21%. You could see Raleigh, that's getting a lot right there. So Greensboro, North Carolina. U.S. housing supply. So again, supply is down. If you're saying, Dek, why is, again, number of homes listed down? Remember, people don't want to list their home when they have to go out and buy higher interest rates, right? So again, this is the supply of homes, not as much supply. Remember, everyone was selling their home in 2022 because they're getting a ton of money. Now people aren't selling their home. Why? Because they don't want to go back out there. Homes sold above listing price. 26% of homes are sold above their listing price. So Dek, how do you get a home that's not sold above its listing price? Very simple. If, again, anyone's interested in saying, well, Dek, how do I get a house above my listing price? You have to look for, I'm just going to type in, I'm going to type in Westchester, Pennsylvania, okay? So again, Westchester, pretty wealthy area in Pennsylvania if you do or do not know. But usually the best thing that you can do is go over towards home type or let's see, a days on market. I don't know exactly where this is, but usually whenever you see days on market, you guys are going to be a days on Zillow right here. So let's just say days on Zillow, 90 days, okay? If a home has been here for 90 days, you definitely have a little bit more negotiation power, right? Because if a home has been here for 90 days, it means no one's bum rushing to go get it. No one's bum rushing to go buy this home. So if you were saying to yourself, hey, you know what? I want to go ahead and I want to buy whatever this home. All right, this is a home in Westchester for $1.5 million. Okay? Now, you might go up to this person and say, hey, your home has been on this for 3 months and you haven't sold it yet. I don't want to pay $1.5 million. I will give you $1.1 million. And they might say, no, I'll do 1.4. 1.3. Boom, boom, boom. So again, if you ever want to negotiate, you can't really negotiate with homes that came out on the market one day ago, because again, homes on the market one day ago could easily again get multiple offers. But if you again go to that setting and say, all right, hey, if I can do any, right, or 90 days or more, then you'll be all set, ready to go, right? So like that's a way that you can negotiate. Just a little heads on up. Where are people moving to? People are moving to Pennsylvania. People are moving to, or moving from, excuse me. People are moving out of Pennsylvania. People are moving, California is the #1 state that people are moving away from. So Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Washington, Denver, Texas. A lot of places right here. I can also show you again my Airbnb. How did that finish off on the year? Right here, let's see here, guys. My Airbnb, I don't mind, again, always being transparent with you guys. So basically, I have my rental out in Utah. As you guys know, my performance on the year here. Let's see where we're at. The last 12 months on the year, 2024 view performance, I finished on off with $84,381. So that is not too shabby in any sort of way with, again, my Airbnb rentals. So again, not too bad. And again, I purchased this home back in the beginning of 2023. So I did not do any rentals in early 2023. So again, nothing there. But once I did start renting it, I was able to make $36,000. So I made $36,000 back in 2023 from my Airbnb. Then again, in 2024, I made $84,000 from my Airbnb. And then so far in 2025, I have $31,000 already in the books. So already in the books right now is $31,000. So traders, the reason why I'm showing you guys this, the reason why I'm kind of going over all of this is because you guys are here to want to learn to be able to make money. The best ways for you guys to be able to make money is to be able to spread out your wealth. Okay? Now, you have to understand this very simple fact. Okay? The very simple fact is that millionaires, okay, I'll tell you what millionaires do and do not do. Millionaires are not just going to have one income. That's impossible. It's impossible to have one income and expect to become a millionaire. So if you are someone right now that again has a 9-to-5 job and you are making, let's say, $60K a year, that's awesome, but you're never going to become a millionaire. If you are content and you are happy with that, and that's great, that's all you need. That's fine. But if you again have more ambition on saying, I want to make more money, you have to be able to say, where can I spread out my wealth so I can become a millionaire? Okay? So let's just think about it. If you are saying, okay, well, what's like the normal route? Because that's what I want to be able to think about. What's the normal route? Well, the route would be, number one, you might want to be able to purchase some sort of property or real estate. So number one, you might have your normal house. Your normal house is great. This is, as we already talked about, going to appreciate over time. Right? So that's a great starting point. Get a point where you can live in a home. This is a bank account. This is like your own stock market that is appreciating over time. We also know a way that you can be able to make money is going to be from a rental, right? A rental property, such as an Airbnb, where again, you guys could see my Airbnb was able to make me over $80,000 last year, which is absolutely incredible, absolutely great. So again, the rental is now again making me money. So again, my house is going to appreciate over time. Let's just say, I don't know, I'm just going to make up a number. Let's say again, my house is going to appreciate $15,000 every single year, right? That's absolutely great. Now again, my rental was able to make me $81,000 every single year. That's absolutely great. Now again, I am also doing what? Day trading, right? I day trade, right? Day trading can be anywhere between 80,000 to my best year ever, 500,000. Let's just again be a little bit more on the normal conservative side. Let's just say again, $150,000 through day trading. Now also I need to remember what? I also have my long-term investments on a retirement account, right? So again, let's just say again, my retirement account, my 401k, like retirement, right? We gotta have over $200,000 over there as that's appreciating and that's absolutely growing. Now, again, what else could you do, right? As just you as a person, traders, I don't mind again showing you guys everything. I don't mind being transparent in this way, right? You can go ahead and start making YouTube videos if you want to. Make YouTube videos, get involved in content, right? So if I come over here and I say in my YouTube, right? And I haven't posted many videos whatsoever at all, but I could go over to my revenue, right? And I could say, okay, made $200 this month, right? If I go over towards, let's just go over towards lifetime right here over on my YouTube. YouTube, how much money do I make just from posting random videos? Guys, I made about $46,419. That's very nice. So again, let's just throw that out there right here, right? Let's just throw that there where we have our YouTube. Let's just put YouTube. And then we have, again, $46,000, right? Then again, you could have whatever. Let's just put side hustle or a business that you might run or whatever it may be, right? You have a side hustle that you might do. And then let's just put another, let's say $20,000. Or again, and you do have on top of that your 9-to-5 job. So again, now you have your 9-to-5 job. Now traders, is anything I'm saying unrealistic? Okay? Like I'm just saying like right now, is there anything like unrealistic? Is it unrealistic for you to own your home? Is it unrealistic for you to save up and again, put some sort of deposit down on a rental? Is it unrealistic for you to day trade and make money? Is it unrealistic for you to have a 401k? Is it unrealistic for you to be able to make a YouTube video and post it once a week? Is it unrealistic for you to have something that you have another passion for and have some sort of side hustle, maybe making something and selling something on Facebook Marketplace, or maybe making YouTube thumbnails or going to Fiverr or whatnot, right? Like if you want to, just go over to Fiverr.com and all these people are just like freelancers and you just do whatever you want. Like for instance, like this guy is, let's just see what we have here. It's like, okay, I will design you an amazing YouTube thumbnail, right? Look at this guy. This guy goes, I'll make you an amazing YouTube thumbnail right here. And these are some thumbnails that this guy has made. So guess what? Why don't you just take again an hour and a half, learn how to make good thumbnails, and then you can open up an account on Fiverr and say, hey, I'll make you a good thumbnail, and you could charge $140 for 10 thumbnails. Like there are so many different side hustles you can do. But look at this now. Look at all of a sudden where we're at. Look at what we are able to accomplish, right? We have right here $15,000 plus again $81,000 plus again $150,000, right? Plus again $200,000 plus again $46,000 plus again $20,000 plus again $60,000. Guys, all of a sudden we're over $500,000. All of a sudden things start changing. Traders, do you think any person out there, maybe a surgeon, maybe a quarterback of an NFL team, sure, gets paid though $1 million a year? Not many, less than 1%. The majority of people, I'll break it down like this, okay? The majority of people are not millionaires. Okay, let's just say 2% of people are millionaires, okay? Now, let's take that 2% only. Out of the 99% of the 2%, right? We probably have them making millions of dollars like this, okay? So I know that might have sounded a little confusing. We have the entire world population. Out of the entire world population, let's just say 5%, we'll make it very simple, 5% are millionaires out of the world's population, okay? But out of this 5%, I'm gonna probably say that 90% is making millions of dollars by doing this, by having multiple streams of income. House, rental property, long-term investments, day trading, 401k, having a side hustle or business. There is probably out of that 5%, I would probably say the remaining 10% is some sort of celebrity, is some sort of like movie actor, some sort of athlete, right? So that's very rare, right? And that's going to be much tougher. You guys are going to have to understand that if you want to become a millionaires, you have to do it 3 different ways. There's 3 different ways to become a millionaire, okay? Just a little heads up for you guys. Stock market's number 1. Real estate's number 2. Starting a business or being involved in some sort of business is number 3. It's very difficult to do anything else other than those 3. So if you are not in those 3, if you're not investing, there's a good chance you're not going to become a millionaire. If you're not involved in real estate, there's a good chance you're not going to be involved in a millionaire. If you don't, again, run some sort of business, there's a good chance that you're not going to be, again, some sort of a millionaire. But right there's, again, 3 different incomes. And then on top of that, guess what? Things start branching off and building from there. So I do want you guys to understand this. Everyone always asks the question, how do I make $1 million? Guys, the answer is right here. You have to have multiple streams of income. And people say, well, Dek, I'm so tired after I come home from my 9-to-5 job. I don't want to do anything. Well, the ultimate goal is, again, that your side hustle takes over your 9-to-5 job. Now you have more time to go ahead and be able to make YouTube videos or whatever you may want to do, or day trade, or again, focus on research or long-term investments. And then again, you make more money and then you put it down on a rental property. Like, the thing is, guys, I know this sounds like a lot, but again, number one, sitting in our house doesn't do, like, sitting in our house, time just makes our house more expensive. My Airbnb, I do absolutely zero, guys, zero. Again, I made more money than $81,000 on my rental Airbnb. My, again, management team takes 20% of it. So again, I really made $100,000 in my Airbnb, but they keep $19,000 of it because why? Because they, again, are the people that are cleaning it and making sure. All I do is I look at every single month and there's a new $80,000 in my bank account. That's it. I don't do anything. They take care of the security. They take care of the cameras. They take care of everything. They take care of the bookings. They take care of the customers, all that. I don't do anything. So again, I don't do anything. And we're talking about, oh, how much time do we have? I don't do anything with here. I just live in my house. I don't do anything with here. Again, I have a management team to do it, right? These other things I do, right? I day trade. The 401k, the retirement account, I don't do anything there. That just, again, all comes in time. So I day trade. Again, I'm going to do my YouTube. I have my side hustle. And again, I don't have my 9-to-5 job because my 9-to-5 job is, again, my trading and is my side hustle and is everything like that. So it's all about, again, being able to figure out what times work best for you to actually be able to thrive and succeed and do everything you need to do. So want to make sure that you guys are all set. Want to make sure that you guys are all good. Want to make sure that you guys are all dialed in. Rock off. It's hard to focus because that NFT song won't stop in my head. Yeah, hey, absolutely. NFT. It doesn't stop. Never stops. So again, amazing job, amazing work from every single person. And yes, guys, obviously it's all different from everyone, right? My, again, income is going to be different than your income. Your income is different than person A's income, person B income, or again, whatever, Amazon, Jeff Bezos' income. Everyone is going to have different hustles. Everyone's going to have different trading careers. Everyone's going to have different this or different that. You just got to be able to figure out, hey, how can I have passive income? That's going to be very important. So today, guys, so far has been an absolutely action-packed stream. What did we do today, guys? What did we go over today? Guys, we have gone over, of course, what's coming on up with 2025. We have gone over, again, conspiracies of 2025. But then we also dove into, again, trends of 2025. We talked about great dip buy opportunities of 2025. We talked about the plays that I like and the price entries I want of, again, 2025. Then again, we went over to, real estate in 2025. And then, of course, just talking about 7 different incomes on how to become a millionaire in 2025. So again, this morning, over the last 2 hours, guys, absolutely beautiful. I wanted to kick off 2025 right with a good live stream, showing you guys the exact trades that I like and the exact trades that I'm going to be allocating that $75,000 to. I wanted to, again, break it on down in the most simple and easiest way for you to understand. I wanted to make sure every single person is now going forward with clear-cut confidence, knowing, again, that, hey, Dek, I like what he's looking at. I like what he's focusing on. And, again, gets me, again, really fired on up. So we went over it all today, guys. We went over it all today. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns? Also, again, our YouTube family. Guys, I missed you. I haven't gone live over on YouTube in a very long time because, again, we did the small account challenge. For anyone who was not here, because, again, I have not gotten on live on YouTube for the small because we did the small account challenge. The small account challenge is now over. For anyone that, again, is not aware, I still have to actually make an update video on it. Is, again, for our small account challenge, we turned $5,000 into $14,100 in 2.5 months. So we did not cross all the way up towards 25K, but we were able to make just under 300% return on the small account. It's amazing. I always have high standards. I have very high standards. I was looking to be able to get a 600% return on the small account challenge. We got just under a 300% return on the small account challenge. So small account challenge, absolute success. A lot of trading, a lot of learning, a lot of studying, a lot of helping, a lot of growth, and some great profits and some great money. I do want to let you guys know, I got some money I got to give away to some traders over in chat. That's going to be coming on up. And we are also going to be getting ready for another small account challenge in February. So February, we are going to be getting ourselves pumped and ready to go. Stock Billion Deck, do you have any suggestions on where to start on the Airbnb business? I have to invest in money. Where should I start, boss? I'll do a full lesson on that coming up in the future. But really, the very simple thing is you have a lot to think about. Stock Billion. Do you want to go for a luxury Airbnb, or do you want to break up your funds and go for, again, smaller homes and kind of like spread out the wealth a little bit? So again, for me, I kind of went with more of a luxury Airbnb for the peace of mind. What do I mean by the peace of mind is when I am, again, let's say renting out a home for $40 every single night, let's say, you are going to get a different clientele than renting out a home for $500 every night. Again, was always nervous. My biggest fear when I was looking for an Airbnb is I was nervous people are going to destroy it. People are going to, again, act like, hey, this is a vacation home. I'm just going to punch holes in the walls, this, that, all that. That's always, again, was my biggest fear. So I thought, how can I avoid that? Well, again, you need a different type of clientele. When you have, again, people that spend $600 a night to stay in your house, 99.9% of the time, knock on wood, is that they are not going to throw massive parties and destroy it. You are most likely going to be having what? Higher class type of people, right? People that have funds, people that have money, people that say, hey, you know what? Like, we understand that, like, we're enjoying vacation in a higher class manner. That's kind of what it came on down to. Renting a home for $600 a night and renting a home for, let's say, $40 a night, you are going to get two different types of people. And again, I was always nervous on, kind of spreading out my eggs in two homes instead of just buying one nice home. I would rather do one nice home, even though, again, sometimes people say spread your eggs out in a different basket. Also, the other thing that you want to think about is where do you want to do it? Well, where would you vacation to? I think the number one mistake that people make is they say, hey, Dek, I bought this house and no one rents it. Well, where is it? Oh, it's in my neighborhood. Why would anyone rent your house in your neighborhood? Go to a place that people like to go. They like to go to the beach. They like to go to the mountains. Easy as that, right? Find either a beach, find either a mountain, or find either a city. Don't buy a home just because it looks nice in the middle of the woods and expect anyone to rent it, right? So, these are all questions and things that you need to think about moving forward. So right now, traders, absolutely great, absolutely beautiful. Remember, all the trades that I really like, we have, again, running through them one more time. Guys, Nike taking a good hit today. Nike, right? Love that one. AMD, love that one. Wynn, love that one. Right? These are all plays I like. BXTW, or excuse me, BWXT, love that one. Is there anyone I'm missing here? Let me go through them real quick. Nike, Wynn, BWXT, and then AMD. All right, these are kind of like the top four that I'm starting with, as you guys know. Top four that I really like and I'm really enjoying. Have not, again, pulled the trigger just yet on any of these. But again, definitely very excited. Very excited to see what's going to be happening here. No problem, guys. I am here to help you on out with anything you guys need. Does anyone have any other kind of final questions, comments, or concerns? Little heads on up. There will be no Timing the Market show tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, I want to be focused with you guys. So Timing the Market show will start back up over on Monday. Okay, so there will be no Timing the Market show tonight. Timing the Market show will be again live going again over on Monday. If you guys enjoyed these YouTube live streams, make sure you guys smash that thumbs on up. Make sure, again, you guys are putting on those notifications so you never miss a beat and you guys are all set, ready to go. Obviously, I'm jacked up, fired up to be here. It's been an absolutely incredible 2025 working with you guys day in and day out. All I want you guys to do is be able to grow and succeed and be able to continuously make this money and make this cash. I want you guys to be the best traders that you guys can be, and I truly want every single person to be successful. Every single person to be able to grow and learn. As you guys know, I am live every single day over on tradecaster.com. I'm live streaming here, so make sure you guys come on over. If you guys are watching over on YouTube, I'll drop a link. So again, you guys can come on over towards, again, Tradecaster. And you guys can be able to watch and join and be part of our massive community here. Watch all of these live streamers, watch all of these traders, and let's get ready to work. Traders, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 2025. Thank you so much for everyone who has joined us. Thank you so much for every single person who has been crushing it and is bringing this fire energy, becoming better day in and day out. I love you. I'm gonna be throwing on a brand new stream. I'm jumping off the YouTube stream, and then I'll put a private one over on Tradecaster for everyone over lunch hours. We know, again, lunch hour streams over on Tradecaster will be starting up very shortly. Just want to say again, thank you so much, and we'll be all set. Dons, when will you be doing the long-term holds for this year? When, again, they come down to our entry prices. So again, this whole entire morning, we went over all the entry prices. When I'm going to be doing the long-term holds, when, again, our entry prices start hitting. So, or at least near those entry prices. So, I want to start getting ourselves slowly involved, definitely over on these plays. Market has been fading a little bit, but we definitely want to start pulling the trigger rather soon. Again, get ready to make this money. Guys, you excited for again, this 2025? You guys excited to be able to see what's going to be coming on up? Help me out here, traders. Let's get ready to crush it on this year. We're ending off this week tomorrow with, again, a nice little morning a session of commentary. Let's keep this party going day in and day out. You guys already know it. Help me wrap it on up in 3, 2, 1. Ah-hoo! I love you. Enjoy it, and I'll see everyone back here bright and early tomorrow morning. I probably will jump on the mic later on this afternoon for Tradecaster members as well, especially if one of these plays starts dumping a little bit lower, and we'll be all set, ready to go. Tradecaster members, I'm going to turn off this stream and turn on another one. So again, I love you. I'll be right back, and we'll be all set, ready to get after it. I'll see you then. Guys, if you guys missed what stocks I'm buying, just rewind the live stream. Rewind the live stream. I go over it all. I can't go over it all again. So again, rewind the live stream. I go over every single play I'd like. Check it on out.
NFT. For your vanity. Computers never sleep. It's verified. It's guaranteed. NFT.